Welcome to Knowing Who You Are. I hope everyone is having a great time today. And as usual, we have done something.
Are you having a great time today?
I'm having a good time. The problem was that we didn't do the show yesterday. So people who are regular audience, regular listeners. So bit of apology. What was the reason?
Well, it was my mother's birthday, so we had a very special family gathering, and it was really nice because everyone was there, my brother, my sister, everyone. So, yeah, it was good.
Yeah. So priorities, definitely. Knowing who you are live stream is a priority, but that we do quite regularly. But a birthday doesn't happen every day, every week. So it happens once a year. So definitely we had to, that was our priority. Selena, ki khobor Ershad, how?
Oh my god, hoe gaat het met je, Esther? That means, how are you doing,
Oh,
Esther?
wow.
It's going great. Hartstikke bedankt.
Okay. Now you have to go for Google Dictionary, Google Translation, wherever you want to look for it. So a little bit of housekeeping. So normally we do the show, still I would like to maintain it, and I would like to reiterate, we do the show every Sunday between 6 and 8. But there are times every now and then and when we have to shift it here and there. So today is no exception. But we are here and almost on time. Well, funny thing is that I have to share with you all this person sitting next to me. She knew we have a live stream today and she forgot.
I did, because I was doing my other work.
Yeah,
so
definitely she was busy. So what I was
I
doing.
got ready in 10 minutes, and
Yeah.
there I am.
Yeah, she's doing good. So you can let us know. Has she done a good job? So the thing is, I just came out of the studio. I was thinking, okay, she's probably getting ready. And I saw she's working away in a computer. So I thought, okay,
maybe 10
hello,
minutes.
yeah, 10 minutes. And so, yeah, she got ready. So Selena, how has your week been? Let us know what's new, what's happening, and how's life. And we can talk about a lot of different things, definitely. And also, there's something interesting that I want to talk about. Okay, very good job. You are both also color coordinator.
Always.
Oh,
Always.
give credit to this to this lady, Esther. She maintains that.
Yes.
So congrats. So she makes sure what I'm wearing. She checks. So I'm
He's
spilling all the
first.
builds,
Like,
right?
No, it's okay. It's okay. He's the one that wears something, and then I'll match my outfit to him, because I pretty much have outfits that match pretty much everything.
It's not only for the show, by the way.
No, we do it all the time.
All the time, yeah. So when we are going out and also during parties or everywhere, so it's an interesting game, and she does very well with this, and so I love that too. I have joined forces.
I mean, we take selfies together wherever we go, and it's all
Yeah.
good memories, so it's got to match, right?
So that's one.
Can't clash.
Yeah. So one of the things to look good on selfies, I don't know how good we look, but the thing is that we make an effort.
Yes.
So, no, that main thing is to keep connected. That's the main thing. So everyone, I see quite a lot of people have joined
Yes,
now.
nice.
So this is our Knowing Who You Are weekly live stream, apart from all the videos that we post on Knowing Who You Are, the YouTube channel. If you haven't seen that one, I would like you to, or invite you to go and have a look at the YouTube channel, Knowing Who You Are. And also there are a lot of interesting interviews, videos, and there are interviews that have been done, what I have done with experts, life coaches, and people who are quite productive and successful in their own field. I wanted to know what made them tick and what are the secrets of their success. So that's what we wanted to know. So during those interviews, there are a lot of interesting discussions we had. I'd like you to go and have a look. And one thing you have to do, if you are a subscriber, press the notification button, which is the bell sign. So it would always help you to know when we are coming live, when there's a new video posted. A lot of new contents are there. And also there are contents from my music as well. A lot of things you can enjoy. And let us know if there's anything we can improve upon. So people who are joining, let us know who are watching the show today. So it'd be great to know. So Selena is already there, I know. And Selena, how about your week? Since you have been the first one who started this comment and who's talking, definitely you are always a very engaged audience, I would like to say, and thanks to you for the support. And also we have other regular listeners, regular viewers. So people who are watching, hi to you. So if you want to hi back to us, that's good. So we can start the conversation knowing who's tuning in from where, which part of the world. So we can talk about this. So normally I start the conversation talking about a particular topic, and Esther always asks me before a live stream, so what are we talking about today?
It's normally right beforehand.
Right beforehand, or I keep on thinking, say throughout the week, that probably I'm reading about something, I'm trying to learn about something, so things come up naturally. So today, if I ask you what you would like to talk about.
Oh, that's not fair. I was not ready for that.
No. It doesn't have to be something difficult, something that you like to talk about. You can talk about and anything and everything. And they will join. I mean, everyone likes to engage in it, and which I really love about this community we are building up.
Very engaging.
Yeah, very engaging and also very valuable, because here no one is like a guru, or no one is doing a master class. It's more about we are sharing our own lived experiences, because if we have I think we have lived enough. So based on that, there are certain things, ups and downs, struggles, successes, and sorrows, happiness, everything. And also I have a performance coming up. By the way, I'd like to mention, because we have few poets and poetry lovers as well. So at Rich Mix, there's a performance that's coming up on the 29th. And it will be from 6 o'clock, so far as I know. I'll check on the website of Rich Mix. On the 29th, BBPC, British Bilingual Poetry Collective. So I'm a member of that group. So we have a lot of new poets joined in, so I'm very excited. So we'll be performing. So if you can manage, it's 29th, which is a Saturday. You can turn up and we can meet in person. And Esther will be there as well. I'll be performing, but she'll be there. But probably at some point she's joining BBPC
I'll
too,
be
because
in the audience.
yeah. Exactly, yeah. So, not during the performance, by the way. So no.
During poetry.
Yeah. So Selena.
And then the world came down. Yeah! I can just imagine me.
Okay, Selena says something. What does she say?
Selena's saying my week's been good, thank you. Not much new to report. Just finished watching The Fall on Netflix. Disturbing but very gripping. Do you guys find series hard to resist and addictive? Oh, I'm going to the event too, by the way. Even wrote a poem, but too many people enlisted. Lol.
Yeah.
We haven't watched The Fall, actually. But yeah, we do have series, but we're very well disciplined.
The Fall. Do you know which one is that?
No.
I think it's what's it, Gillian Anderson? That's what she's called? Okay. Gillian, I think. Yeah, from, what's that thing? X-Files.
Oh, yeah.
Her and 50 Shades of Grey. What's this guy's name? She would know. So I think that's the series. But we have watched something recently. It was made back in 2013. Yeah, Gillian. Yeah. So back in 2013, it's called Top of the Lake. Really mystery. A lot of it was, first of all, my attraction was it was filmed in New Zealand. An amazing place. It's south of New Zealand. So beautiful site, and also how the story was built. You should watch it if you have time. That was one thing, and since we have a strict routine that we watch movies on Netflix only during lunch or dinner, which is not really a healthy thing. Normally they say when you're eating, just be mindful about the eating. But unfortunately, we don't want to spend separate time watching something while we can end up reading something, doing something. Yeah. But definitely, in a day, in 24 hours, apart from your 8 hours, 7.5 hours sleep, there should be some time, at least an hour, when you should do something. Just don't feel pressurized that you have to be productive, that you have to do something. You should find something that you like to do, whether it can be gaming, it can be being on social media, whatever you like to do. We are humans and we have our needs too, so it's good.
But we do every now and then, like when there's a good movie that's out or whatever, we'll have like a Friday evening or Saturday evening or whatever. But
Sunday, yesterday, when we returned, we came home and Esther proposed, how about we just watch something in the bedroom while we are lying down and watch something.
We both fell asleep.
We watched something really funny
it was
though.
Great, yeah.
But we halfway through we fell asleep.
It was a Guy Ritchie movie, so it was very
yeah. So that's the thing. Top of the Lake. That's the series we watched. It was made in 2013, but really amazing.
That's why she said, "Oh, I started Top of the Lake years ago."
Oh, okay, great. So you definitely loved it. Yeah. And Selena said, okay, about the event we know, Gillian, Jamie Dornan, and that's the guy.
Yeah, that's the 50 Shades dude. Yeah.
50 Shades dude, yeah. So I started Top of the Lake years ago, okay? I would recommend Glitch too. Today is Netflix Day.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
But I just thought of something I would really like to talk about, actually. Actually, I would like to hear from people and also from you. what childhood experiences specifically inspired by an older person or a wiser person do you still use today to help you make decisions or do things? Like what elderly person or wiser person in your childhood was around you that helped you through something that resulted in you pulling through, first of all, and also something that you still to this day use?
Yeah, nice. So,
Interesting.
people, you're listening what she wants to talk about,
Yeah.
and also the question is directed to me as well, so I have to
Yes.
answer at some
Yes.
point. And before I go to that, there's something relevant that came up. Babu Bablu said, we can talk about Kachi, please. Well, because why I thought it's relevant. Do you guys remember we were talking about Kachi biryani last
Man,
week?
everyone got hungry
And
this week.
I got so hungry, the next day I cooked. I cooked a lot of kachi biryani, and I still have it in my fridge.
Yeah, we made
It's
a lot.
just going, just little installments, increments, and every day a little bit. So, but in the meantime, we went out on Saturday night, and
Chinese. That was
yeah, we
good.
had Chinese.
Very
So,
nice.
yeah, so it's still there. So, yeah, Babu Bablu, if you want to talk about kachi biryani, definitely. It somehow it had shaken me.
Yeah.
So I had
Thanks,
to cook.
by the way.
Thank you. So yeah, the childhood experience. You wanted to know about a person that influenced?
Yeah, like an elderly or a wiser person that basically gave you some advice to help you through a situation that you can still use today, or that you still every now and then remember, go, that was such a good thing that really helped me at the time.
It's an interesting thing. I mean, it would be very ungrateful of me if I say that. To be honest, if I look back growing up, I don't see that many inspiring people in my life. They are good in their own way, but what we mean by inspirational personality, that someone who would really inspire you to do something and say something really valuable that stuck out. I mean, I can't remember anything like that. I had set my own standards somehow about relationships, about romanticism. It's not from books as well. It's just my own ideology, and it somehow worked. Some of them definitely I had to modify going forward when I grew and from experiences, but I can't remember anything. But definitely there's one thing that was interesting. It was not to it's not a struggle or anything, but you can say that it can be. It was language learning. So English as a language, because Selena asked one day how we can improve and this and that, because she is an amazing writer herself, and I think you studied creative writing probably at the uni. She asked Selena that how we can improve. So what happened, my aunt, she's the youngest of my mom's 7 sisters, so she lives in Canada. And during that time, I was probably in 4th grade, and I was reading, it was a Radiant Way or Radiant Reading, that was the book. So I was reading the book, it was English, and we had to go through that one. It was English medium. So, and I was struggling with words here and there, and I was just in my 4th grade, and also it's a new language for us, foreign language, so I was learning. At that time, she told me, do one thing. Whenever you find a new word, maintain a diary. Start writing it down with meaning. At the time, I didn't know about examples that, okay, how this word is used. But going forward, I learned that, and I recommend that for people as well to do that. So what I did, I started keeping a diary. So I think I reached up to my adult age, probably 29 notebooks where I have all these words kept. So every now and then I'll find word. And it grew into me so much, that was part of my habit. It was ingrained, that I would feel sometimes it was kind of, it was a psychological disorder almost, that when I'm out, and I see some new word, I have to find it. And I'm like, okay, my diary is not with me. I have to go home. I have to remember. Back in the days when I was growing up, there were no smartphones, no note, no note book or anything, or any apps that where you could take it down. So I would just rush home. I would get very restless, go home and write it down straight away. So I think that's one of the advice that really helped me going forward, and that's how the language, literature, everything became one of my favorite topic too. My goodness, there are a lot of comments in the meantime.
Nice.
Ooh, Anuradha, my mom, her advice is buy fur and English and comparative literature. Yeah, comparative literature at Goldsmiths. Wow, nice, lovely. I mean, I love Goldsmiths. And probably, I don't know, at the moment I'm trying to move my postgrad to Goldsmiths or UCL for neuroscience. So let's see what happens. And Anuradha Nandi, the idea of vocabulary diary was given by my dad.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So how many diaries have you kept, Anuradha? So my one is 29. I have 29. I still have them in a pack, huge pack. Okay, so Selena is saying.
She's saying, how do you advise people who are lazy about English, not interested in learning? They think it's a waste, more important things in their lives. I have tried with these people, but it can come across as arrogant, so I just stopped. No one wants to insult anyone, you know.
I mean, I think it's not only about English or any particular language. I think it's about skill. If you look at it, I look at it, a language can be a skill. Say, I speak English and other languages. Esther speaks multiple languages as well. But it's a skill. It's a life skill. And if you are not prone to, or at least you are not predilection, you don't have any predilection to improve your skills and self-improvement or your personal growth, I think that's one of the things that could be a reason when you feel like, okay, what's the point of learning a new skill? It's not about speaking that language and which makes you feel like, okay, you're part of the cool group, because that was one of the things back home as well. There are a group of kids who would speak in English because it was supposed to be a cool thing to do.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
like
wow.
you are speaking in English.
Oh, wow.
And still you see in media sometimes I come across people, every sentence they have is peppered with some English words, but it's not a full English sentence.
I was wondering why
And
that worked.
every now and then you'll see someone is speaking in Bengali, then every now and then they're using the word like. So that's my thing is, okay, it's nothing cool about knowing these foreign languages. Definitely, I mean, yeah, it shows that you have some knowledge, a new skill or a different skill you have about a language. But if you think that it's cool to speak in English, I mean, that's a wrong idea. So definitely, Selena is not coming from that point of view. But for some people, as she said, that they might think that it's arrogant. But I think people who are not interested in gaining new skills, they might be a bit averse to learning this new skill or a new language, whatever that is.
Interesting.
No one can beat you.
Oh, the number of diaries.
Oh, number of diaries. Oh, God. Yeah, my journal diaries are really, there are a lot of diaries that I'm having at the moment.
And he's still going every day.
Yeah, still going, because that's another habit. Every day before going to bed, I'll be sitting here and I'll be writing my journal, what happened. But I normally don't do my entries, as I said before, that what happened today. I went out for a walk and I talk. I said this. I did this. You can do that like this, I mean, if you like. But my thing is I do philosophize a little bit.
Yeah.
What I learned out of the experiences, whatever happened. So this is my way of doing it.
I write down happy thoughts.
Yeah.
Just the happy thoughts and happy memories. That
That's
happened
good
that
too.
day,
It's like
which I
before going to bed,
Yeah,
you
it's
you
nice.
are being grateful
Yeah.
for good
I
things
am.
that
And
happen.
then I spend about 10-20 minutes telling you about everything.
Oh yeah. Well, she has written a book for me as well.
Yeah, I did actually.
So what's that book called?
Why I Love You.
Why I Love You. So it's kept by the bedside, and she had written the full. It's quite a big notebook.
135 pages.
135 pages. So it has pictures, photos, and a lot of questionnaires she answered. She had written a nice book. So it's good. So every now and then, before going to bed, she reads it out to me. So I prefer not to read myself. So when she does that, it's really interesting.
Mainly because you can't read a lot of my handwriting. It's very
Oh
curly.
God. Okay, so it's very ironic because I now want to be fluent in Bangla. I'm so envious of those who understand all the lyric and can read novels.
Yeah,
It's
very-
really
yeah,
sweet, and I feel that Bangla is such a beautiful language.
Yeah, it is.
Two of my
aesthetic.
favorite languages, or I would say three: Bangla, French, and Urdu. I mean, many people might say because we have a bit of a bittersweet history with Urdu
Yeah.
and Bengali in 1952, but it's a lovely language and people who understand. And if you can hear a recitation in Urdu,
Amazing.
and the poetry in Urdu is amazing. And French, the sound of it already. I mean, even though I probably mostly don't understand much, but I like the sound of it and how it's really very soft.
It's very elegant.
Elegant
I
as
think.
well,
I
definitely.
agree, yeah.
And Anuradha, I'll be doing the same when I retire. Thank you. It's about diary or it's about your notebook for vocabulary. That's so romantic, Esther.
What about the book?
Oh, the book. Yeah, it's really nice.
What was it? What was it in aid of again? Did I write it as a? Was it anniversary present?
It's
Oh yeah, because it was meant to be a Christmas present, and I was so
Yeah.
excited that I gave it to you before.
Well, now you know what she does basically. When she has to give me something, it's a surprise. So how many of you do that? I don't know. So when there's a surprise, she plans the whole surprise. She buys things or makes things. Then she will struggle to keep it within herself. And
Not
she'll
just
be like,
keep it.
oh my God, 2 more days to go. So I should be the one who's waiting for the surprise. But she's the one. And I'm like, it's fine. You don't have to tell me now. I can wait. And I'm totally zen. And she would be, she would find excuses. And she
Yeah.
would say, well, let's do it because you have done this. So that could be part of that. And I'm going to read it out or I can show you the gift or the special surprise. So yeah, she's working on it, hopefully.
No, not really.
Well, I don't mind. I get my surprises a day or two or sometime a month earlier. Selena said, Urdu and French are beautiful. I'm one of those rare people who love German to lol. I'm so strong.
Interesting.
Yeah, she makes fun of German. I mean, basically Esther and her mom, right?
Yeah, we do.
How do you do that?
I'm not going to do this on live.
Okay.
Not at all.
All
Too
right.
much respect for the German.
All right. Okay, Neha is laughing.
Oh, good.
Oh,
Hi,
what?
Neha.
Hi,
Welcome.
Neha.
Good to hear you. See you.
By the way, our Saturday night out, we
That
went
was
to a
so
fashion
fun.
show.
Yeah.
Neha was our company, one of our greatest companies. So 3. We call it, on that day, it was 3 musketeers.
Yeah.
We are normally 4 musketeers.
Yeah.
So we went, all 3 of us, and everyone dressed so lovely, especially the ladies. And yeah,
You look good too.
yeah. So did she and Neha.
Yeah.
Anuradha, daily journal, philosophizing it, etc. It's creative and refreshing. I need more time to do it. Anuradha, you can always find time. Okay, tell me something. Definitely you're busy, you're cooking, you're looking after your kid, you have your work. And what else is keeping you busy? Can you not find 5 minutes, 10 minutes? We always say we are busy, but there are times we have to make and we can for things we want to do. Because sometimes if we feel like, say this YouTube channel, I was doing shows for other TV platforms, but I always wanted to do blogging and my own podcast. And I bought the domain for knowingwhoyouare.blog. Now it's 3-4 years now. But when I bought for 2 years, it totally remained inactive. I was paying for it every year, but I wasn't really doing anything. And I was finding reasons. Oh my God, I have to. But I was planning I was thinking what I can bring that would be of some value to people. So finally I came up with, and I started, because it was a few years before that it was in the process of being brewed. Because I was thinking, because I did Relax with Ershad, then In Harmony with Ershad. So after that, I wanted to do something of my own because of the plans I have. So no one can tell me, Ershad, this is what we want to do and this is our vision. But I had my vision in terms of doing something with people and for the people together and build a community. Anuradha, also the sound of Farsi language and calligraphy, love it. I mean, you were into that too. You have pens as well?
Yeah.
Selena, love Farsi. Yeah. Someone can call us and speak in Farsi if they
Oh,
want.
that'd be exciting.
That'd be exciting.
At least give some examples of that.
Yeah. Anuradha, music, then meditation, prayers. Oh, where's my time?
Well, you know what we did in the end, which actually solved the situation. Like we both have a spot where we do our writing, and it's right there. The notebook is right there. So all you have to do is sit down and start. It's not like you have to take it out from somewhere or blah blah blah. We both he has the studio and I've got my writing desk in the living room, and so it's just there. And then we also make a time like you first thing in the morning when you get up. It's just that's what we do, and then I'll make breakfast, and then while we're switching around in the shower and stuff, I'll write.
The morning I do normally reading.
Yeah.
I separate
writing
a
is at
few,
night.
say half an hour.
Yeah.
Writing is at night because end of the day when everything has happened, then I know what to do and what to write about and what I learned, the struggles, if I was feeling for certain thing, if I was feeling bad or if I'm happy for something or if I had helped someone or someone had helped me, what I've learned. and what inspired me. So things like that I want to put in my journal. So I keep it just next to this table where I'm sitting at now. Just next to it, I keep my journal and my poetry diaries. So I have few poetry diaries, like one where I do my draft. Like there's 3-4 drafts. Poetry I'm performing on the 29th. I'd written it 3 times. So today I think I finalized it. So I've done the fair. So it's moved to the final notebook, which I'll be carrying with me on the 29th. So I'll be reading from. Anuradha said music, then meditation, prayers. Yeah, prayers, fine, meditation. And yeah, journaling is kind of meditation for me too, because I definitely do reflect on things and it's a way of meditating. And Neha said she was laughing about Esther's excitement for the hidden gifts.
Yeah, but you know me well. You know I would totally do that.
Yeah. So how many daily journal diaries, Ershad? How many daily journal diaries? Oh, wow. How many? I did up until my university days. Then there was a break for quite some time. Then I picked it up. But I think I have at least 12. Yeah, I have 12. But I love notebook and so does she. So whenever we go, we find some lovely notebook, we bring it up. I mean, there's something exciting about an empty diary that I want to write.
Yeah.
And pens.
Oh my God.
I should show them. So next to, this is the table. So these are the pens I have here, but there are a lot of pens there. And Esther has similar, I think she has 2, 3. And that's one of the things I want to write with the pens and different colors and even the feel. Some of the pens makes me feel like writing. I mean, I like to experiment, and Esther had given me some fountain pens as well. So yeah, I'm using them. And Selena said, if you want to read that.
Selena, I have a question. Is there any days where you just feel down or lethargic? It's quite challenging to be up, up, up continually, if that makes sense. Continually optimistic, I suppose. You both are an inspiration, but would you say this is mainly due to that habit formation? How does one begin?
How about you, if you want to answer? I'm going to add to it, definitely.
Yeah, sure. I think, well, for starters, I've always been the glass is half full person. Like, I do have a tendency to look at things in a positive way, which sometimes isn't always good when you need to plan for the worst, but I do always look forward to it. I'm excited about it. So I've had that pretty much all my life. But to be able to share it with someone else who has not only that same viewpoint, but the same interest, who's on the same wavelength, who has the same ideas, and obviously super important as a couple, you have to have an alignment of where you want to go and what you're going to do. And we have a complete sort of plan all the way till the end of our life pretty much. And we're every day working away. So it's not like, oh, the honeymoon period is over and now it's all back to we're just in our own shell. Like we since the beginning, we've just been excited about what we're going to do. And we literally, every morning, we say, oh my God, this is so good. Excited today. And we're so lucky to be together. And then at the end of the night, same thing. We're so lucky to be together and have each other to this. Because it's almost like everything you can be excited about gets doubled because you have this other person to share it with. And there's days when I'm not, exuberant or all over the place, and that happens. And fortunately, that's never happened at the same time as you. So you're normally, what's happened? And we talk about it. And really, just like anything, when you talk about it, it sort of dissolves and you sort of see, well, that's actually not really a big deal. And then we get on with it. But because we're busy every day with our projects and everything, I think that has a huge thing to do with it. So.
And if I talk about myself, what happens, there are definitely days we are not machines. We are humans, very organic. And every now and then, because you have to know, we live in an always-on society. And nowadays, we say that, okay, people who wants to take rest or who wants to sleep, even during the day probably, we think, okay, he's lazy or she's lazy. But the thing is that we tend to forget that mental health is very important, which I've learned as well. And there had been times in my younger years, probably 10 years back, I wouldn't mind sleeping for 4 hours at night or 5 hours at night because I want to practice more playing guitar, singing, and reading or doing whatever. But now I believe that it's very important. First of all, if I want to live, it's not about living a long life. It's about living a quality life with the length of time I would like to enjoy. No matter how long I live, I want to have a quality time, healthy lifestyle. So based on that, I definitely look after my sleeping, rest, and everything. And there are times when I feel overwhelmed because when I am not at work, there's podcast going on. Sometimes I'm reading a book, and after I finish this, then I have to sit down. I try to produce something. Then I have to start practicing. I mean, there are things back to back. It's always going on. And there are times when I have realized recent days, I'll stop everything and just sit down for 5 to 10 minutes, just thinking about nothing, doing nothing, which is very important. And there are days as well when I get up, I feel, because when you're always on and you haven't given that headspace and didn't give your mind that rest, and if you're not well rested as well, there can be times when you can feel a bit lethargic, and also depression can kick in.
Yeah, but the other thing that you do is that you go to the gym a lot. And the other thing that we do is we make sure that we always go out. Like, and when I say out, I don't mean like out. I mean, we're going for a walk, you know, because we have a great environment here, and we'll just force ourselves, if we feel that way, to just go out and get fresh air and do that. And that normally handles it.
The gym helps me. I mean,
Yeah.
any physical activity, if it's, as she said, that a walk in the evening, which we do, which is quite, and we are quite lucky to live by the Thames, so at Kingston. So it's a lovely place.
Yeah, it
So
is,
we
yeah.
always go in the evening. It's quite a regular thing for us. First thing is the health benefits, fresh air, and the walk we are getting. But I'm going to the gym anyways during the day. But gym always helps me. Whenever I come out of the gym, I straight away I feel energetic, and I'm a good mental headspace that I feel that, okay, everything is positive and I can face anything. And whenever I feel down, journaling, my thing is, it's not about writing, okay, I felt bad today, this is what happened. But I would write down to find the source. So when I write down, I can find the source and I tackle that when I think, okay, this is where it started. How can I stop that? Yeah.
I would like to hear from some of our callers.
Yeah.
How do they handle their lethargy? Lethargy.
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 I have about 3 pots of pens. Selena said loves journals too. Still have
Yeah,
some.
me too.
So yeah, as for calls, I think we should put the number up. Let's see what happens.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
the
we
number
go.
is there for you. You can call us, and the number is 0044 if you're calling using WhatsApp, then 7308192908. You can give us a call, and from any part of the world. And if you're in England, then definitely it's just from your mobile phone directly. You can call 07308192908, and we can discuss about these interesting questions. I love it that everyone is asking the questions, and good to know. And to be honest, we are none of us perfect, but if we form good habits, and what Selena asked at the end, habit formation, it's very important. Like journal, it has ingrained in my habit now. I have to do it, and I cannot. Like gym, I've been into this physical activity and workout, exercising from my 7th or 8th grade. I started that, and ever since, the idea of having a rice belly or beer belly or a pot belly never really, I couldn't agree with that. So that was one thing.
To prove that you're well off.
Yeah, no, yeah, that I was scared of. So I always made sure that I go to the gym and I stay fit. And to this day, I think now it's so much part of me. I don't go to the gym, I get depressed, to be honest.
Yeah, that's
I feel
true.
my life has no meaning. Oh my God, where am I going? And it has no value, and I'm losing my track. I'm off the grid and
To
everything.
the point where I'll go, like, when he's not doing too hard, I was like,
Just
have
to
you,
push
you should go to the gym. Like, go right now. Let's go. You know?
Yeah, I start behaving weird. So she has to I think you should go to the gym.
Yeah, let's do a workout. You always feel great when you come
It
back.
happens. I mean, back to back 2 days, if I'm
Yes.
not at the gym,
Yeah.
that will happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I that's when at least a walk helps or something. Like today, I mean, ever since I was up, I've been working away, so different things. She was working as well. So we have a plan. After the show, we'll go for a walk by the river.
After we have a biryani,
Oh, yeah.
probably. Then we can walk it off.
Okay. So, Anuradha had some idea about the journals, and she was writing. So, Anuradha, what do you want to write about, if you want to write about? And what's your style of journaling? And Selena, what's your style of journaling? And Neha is there as well. Neha, I know she used to write like that. And her writing is more through her lyrics, as I know. Because she had written some songs for her band, Rocky Road, which she has with Shakib Khan Mimo. and she had written songs with Maksudul Haq, Mac Hawk from Feedback.
Yeah.
He sang, which is Mohatto. There's a song. There's a music video. You can check it. And there's a song Ontuhin Chawa she had done with Shakib, and Neha sang too. So yeah, she is into lyrics writing, like I'm into poetry and journaling. I used to write stories before, but now I find poetry I can express more, but in different ways. It's the language of the subconscious, as I like to look at it.
It's true, actually.
Yeah. So, anyone, you have questions, definitely you can ask. We'll try to answer if we can. And you can add to the conversation. But Esther, what you are asking to them so they can talk about it, you talked about advice from someone that really helped you and still helping you to this day. So Anuradha added that her mom's advice. So Anuradha, you didn't share with us. Did she share with us what the advice was?
No, just what was the advice?
Yeah, what was the advice, Anuradha? I mean, if you're listening, you can share with us. You can give us a call and you can tell us, I mean, how that advice helped you or what the advice was about. So that's one thing we can talk about. And also, Selena, Neha, and there are a lot of people I can see. So people who are joining in, they can share with us. So, and about me, as I said, my advice, one advice that stuck out. And to be honest, advice can be from a superior or people around you, someone who's in person present, or it could be someone in history. Say, for example, I think my advice, most of my ideas were formed through reading books, I guess. So those people are sometimes still alive. Some of them are dead, long gone.
Yeah.
But when I read book, it's not that I read with a mindset, I'm learning something. I feel that when you're reading something, if you're mindful about that reading, something happens subconsciously. And probably you won't remember the whole 50 page that you read or 10 pages you have read, but you would at least remember a few lines from there. So
yeah.
that would help you.
Yeah. I've always looked at books as it's a communication from the author to you. Like, they obviously wrote it because they wanted someone to get that message. And it's like someone, and if you read it, I always read it with the mindset that I have that person talking to me, telling me what it is that they want to hear. And sometimes, obviously, you don't know, doesn't mean you have to agree with it, but they obviously had something to say. And same with poetry, I think. I think as well.
No, it's important that even if you don't agree with something, never read something that you want to, that you have some kind of support towards. That you, if you're a pro idea, there's an idea you believe in, and you are reading about that only, it's not a good idea. You also have to have the opinion from the other side. So something that would conflict with that idea. So that will make you question. Because if you don't have any why in your mind, we have Selena.
We have Selena.
Okay. And Anuradha said about how to. Hi, Selena.
Hi, Ershad and Esther.
Hi.
I thought it was quicker than messaging, and I haven't spoken like to my voice
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
for some time.
Great. We love that.
Yeah, so you asked me a question, I think, about journaling. How do I journal? I don't know. Like, I do love writing with pens and things, but these days, just because it's quicker, or if you're like half asleep, I kind of use my notes like on my phone, and I use that for poetry or for just writing like thoughts or I don't know, dreams and lists and things like that. Because I am a quicker, typer than writing by hand. So, but it does feel different when you write with a pen. I must.
It's true.
agree.
Yeah, that's very true. I agree.
Yeah.
I used to keep voicemails for myself just to actually, if I saw something or a quote that I read, or you sometimes, you're somewhere on the street and you see something. It's like, oh my God, I would literally send myself or send my, friend a WhatsApp message with the voice note.
No.
Yeah, I do something similar where if I see something nice or I have to remember something,
Yeah.
I'll take either, if it's on my phone, I'll take a screenshot. So my photo
Yeah.
album actually has mostly screenshots.
Yeah,
like
same here.
thousands of
Same
them.
here.
Or I'll take a picture or, some kind of, memory jogging thing.
I do that. I normally take pictures as well, screenshots. Then I prepare on my notes, and then I put them together. I have some cue cards as well where I write them down. and I maintain those cards. Some are based on strategies, some are great quotations and things like that, because I'm in the process of putting a book together. I mean, I don't know when it will come out, but I'm still working on it. So every day, wherever I read something and if it's relevant, I keep those notes, put them together, because otherwise, there's so many notes and everything. It was all
They
over.
get lost.
They get lost. They're scattered
Yeah.
all over my phone, and it used to be. But now I'm trying to put them together or keep them together.
So what's your book about? Is it like Think Like a Monk? Like a self-help book kind of thing? Is it like that?
It's I think the things I'm reading at the moment, there are a lot of things I want to. This is one thing I am still working on. What kind of, I think I would like to put scientific data, and definitely it would help people, and that was the idea. But it would be a bit of a autobiography, in a sense that I'll share my experience, what I'm doing with Knowing Who You Are as well. And people I'm meeting every day, say I'm talking to you. So what I'm learning and how the people who have touched my life and what I've learned from them, and those examples from real life situation. So which I would like to share and then analyze it with scientific data. So
Okay, kind of like a scientific memoir, I
a
think.
scientific memoir, but more accessible for people who are not literally, they don't have to know all the scientific terms and everything.
Yeah,
So
for the
break it
layman.
down
I
for
actually
them.
really enjoy those kinds of books.
Yeah.
They have very accessible scientific things or philosophy. That's. Do you have like a working title?
No. It will, I mean, normally I feel that it will come at the end. That's the last thing, to be honest. Because I'm just working with that idea at the moment. So at the moment, what I'm working on is collecting data. So analyzing them, putting them together. Next stage would be to separate them. But at the moment already I'm separating the data. But the thing is, then I'll put them together. This is the strategy, science, and that's the scientific knowledge. And then how I have to interpret them and make it more accessible for people. And then,
Yeah.
experiences. That is just, say you shared your experience, I share, Esther tells me something, or one of my friends told me something, so I just put them together. But your name wouldn't be mentioned that Selena said that. So don't worry.
You could just say S or something.
Yeah.
It's like case studies.
Yeah.
Exactly.
SR say that.
This book, is it like outside of your studying, your PhD, I think you're doing
Uh,
now?
I haven't started it, but I will be. So that was one of the plans. But definitely that will come in handy as well, that research at the time.
Okay.
So, any new poetry?
Oh yeah, the one I wrote for the language, for the layers of language.
Oh, you're performing on the day, on the 29th?
No, I'm not. So basically, it was like a misunderstanding. So there was like an Instagram story, and I thought they're looking for people who are not part of the BBPC or whatever it's called now. They changed the name.
British
So
Bilingual Poetry Collective.
Yeah, British Bilingual. Okay, so BBPC. And so I didn't really respond to it. Turns out it was for everybody, including the people who are part of the collective. So it was a bit too late. And then I had to take my sister to the hospital, and the deadline passed. So yeah, I did write it though. But
Well,
No, I mean, definitely
you should read it out for us. You can read.
yeah,
You
please.
can read it out live here.
Before you start, I'll quickly acknowledge the comments.
Yeah.
Just quickly. And Anuradha said about how to become a better human being. So
That was the advice from
that
her
was
mom.
the advice from her mom.
Yeah.
And more patient person. It's interesting thing I'll discuss with Anuradha. Probably she'll call us. I was a handful in my childhood. Okay. She was a handful. So about patience. Okay. So we'd like to know, she's still probably a little bit handful as well, because she's a very strong-willed woman. It's not a bad thing, but she's very strong. I've seen it from a comment status and things like that. So Anuradha, I respect that. It's not any way derogative, so don't take it the other way. Shifat, her beauty. Oh, sorry, it's about the music. And Neha said that would be very interesting. It's the book. Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to it too. So now, layers of language. Do you call it layers of language, or does it have another name?
it's untitled. I actually didn't give it a name. Sometimes I just write the thing and then I give the name afterwards. Yeah,
Let's
so
have a listen.
Untitled 500. Let's just call it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. A little introduction. It's kind of different to how I normally write, but I think it's still got the sense of me. my writing style. Right. Okay. I've always been interested in languages, me, the intricacies, imagery, and cultural sensibility. My own is Senglish or Engleti, born from English and Sileti. Only now do I wholeheartedly appreciate my mother tongue, versatile, beguiling in oral storytelling and melodies sung. My face glows as I hear the familiar juxtapositions of phrases learnt by many, put together carefully, poised perfectly. I recall my mother offering me some lentils with rice, dailul khaytani, or the rich aromas of meat topped off with mouth-watering mango pickle, mangshong sholosna. Even the banal holds comfort, khafar safor, sulul, padasada. I've always loved reading, predominantly in English, taking comfort in the words, creating world after world after world. But it is Sility that has found a new home in my heart. Each comic stands a creative, mysterious lexicon dance, and I hope to continue embracing it, honing it, for it to never depart given the chance. The end.
Oh,
Nice, nice.
nice.
But it's
That's
interesting.
great.
Say it's printed. So you have a lot of Sileti words there. How are you going to do that?
Because people in the other performances were, performing in Shuddha Bangla, and people in the audience, obviously didn't understand that. I thought it's kind of okay. But if it was printed, I would put it down, because these Sileti phrases, as far as I know, in Shuddha Bangla, they don't have that.
No, I mean,
This
it's nice,
rhymey
but
thing.
how are you going to do that? Say it's a book of poetry, it's in English, but then you have the Sileti words. So would it be written in English or it
You mean
would.
the characters?
I think for
Yeah.
non-Sileti people, I will just put it as like a key, so that, because I don't think it fits in. If I like put the definition into the poem, I mean that's going to take some work. But yeah, I would just put it in as like a side thing so that people understand what I'm talking about. But for Esther, I guess it's just a rhyming thing that we have in Sileti. I don't know why, but someone posted about it recently, and I thought that's very interesting in language. Like, yeah, this very seemingly unnecessary rhyming thing that we do. It just made me think. And then
Yeah.
I told my mom about it, and then she started laughing. She was like, "Oh yeah, we do that." So
No, some
yeah.
people have the idea that when if you don't rhyme it, then it's not poetry.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Oh no, my one is, I guess, mostly rhymey, but I did find it difficult to write a poem given this kind of parameters of, layers of language, because usually I just write whatever I want to write. So I thought,
No, I
what,
mean,
you know,
it doesn't have any, it doesn't have to have these particular forms, but sometimes in doing so, people can make it sound a little frivolous. I've seen that it sounds a bit not too heavy or, a bit light. It
yeah.
loses that character that you want to see in a poetry or in a piece of literature. So I've written mine as well, which I'm not gonna read today. I can read something
Okay.
else. There are a lot
Wait,
of
wait. So
other.
is this what you felt about me, that mine was frivolous?
What is it?
No, 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 no. Oh my God, no. She's saying is her poetry frivolous?
Oh no 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 no
No,
no!
no, no,
Not yours.
no.
I'm saying that when sometimes people
Yeah.
try to rhyme them, and
Yeah.
in trying to do that, they lose the character or the life. They take the life out of that.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
when you try to, because you're imposing something, literally you're finding a word. Okay, if I had said met, what should I end it with? The next line should finish with get, and
Yeah.
if it's with put, then I have to put probably a boot at the end of it. So things like that, that makes
Yeah.
it sound a bit light
Yeah.
because it's not coming from within.
But the way you describe things, you have a really fascinating way of describing things. I've had that for all the time you've read out your poetry. Somehow, like when you're talking about food, you can taste it. When you talk about the weather, you can literally feel it. When you talk about colors, you can see it. It's really, you have a really distinct way of describing something in such a way that you can just see it in 3D right in front of you. It's really nice.
No, it's
Thank you. I tried to get that visceral.
Yeah, no, you really do.
In
It's
the
very-
writing. I think
yeah.
this is one of the reasons why, you guys were mentioning how you like reading, or you enjoy reading. Some people obviously don't, in the world.
Yeah.
And I used to find that really hard to accept before.
Yeah.
But now I have come to terms with it.
Yeah.
But
Well, not
yeah,
everyone's
I
the
do
same,
feel
It's
that.
it's everyone with their own liking, and there was, I mean, I don't recall a time where I didn't like reading, but I definitely had friends who didn't like reading, and but then they were really into something else which I wasn't, and But yeah, no, reading is the key to knowledge for me.
Yeah. Actually, Ershad, I did do the thing that you were describing
Which
about
one?
I have this word, so I need to rhyme it with this word. Because it
Yeah.
I've
basically
done it
turned
too.
into
Yeah.
it turned into a rhyming thing. So I thought, it might be easier for people to understand. And then I just carried on with the rhyming thing. But
It
you
was
know,
more like those children's poetry. I mean, like we used to call them chora. So
yeah,
it's
like
more like that at the
Santa
time, and I've done that
singing.
during my school days. I've written a lot. I
Yeah.
mean, I was writing at the time. So I would think that if you have to write a poetry or a poem, it has to rhyme. There's no other way.
Oh no, definitely not. I mean, we
It
learned that
definitely
for like
not. But
primary
when,
school.
say, I
Yeah.
was in primary school at the time, I was probably, what, 10, 12 years old. But then later on, I learned about that. So I think I'm going to write one since you have done. I'm going to share one as
You
well.
read one?
I'm going to, oh, sorry. I
Read
said
one.
write, right?
You're gonna
Okay.
write.
I'm not
a
going to write
live,
now.
live
Sorry.
poetry writing.
Okay, after you read one,
Yeah.
I'll read another one that I initially wanted to
No,
put
you should
there.
read first then. Priority is
Okay.
our caller. Always.
Okay, this I probably wrote in 2010 or 11. I think 2011. Okay.
Yeah.
It's called A Time to Get Away. Now, the rain scratches at the window, desperate to get in. I sit wet, water slowly absorbing on my head, clothes sticking to every limb. The train rushes for its destination, racing with the oncoming rain, unaware it is losing. I feel a cold coming on. The sun shyly peeks its enormous self through the sparse sky. Everything becomes quietly fresh, the drab grey peeling off, turning into spring. This may be the start of something new. As I feel the sun on my face, I close my eyes and let it transform me. The day's events and emotions in my mind, swirling around like the mist of a mildew morning, as I remember vividly what it was like to get away. Then, sat on a blistering hot marble step, traditional Greek music plays earnestly. The air stiflingly hot, with the faintest of breezes approaching. People walk endlessly, as am I. Close your eyes, stand ever so still. The heat sinks into every part of your skin, seeping into everything. Take a shower, go for a swim. You'll be dry in 10 minutes. Get out, go for a walk. You'll be sweating in one. The heat, sometimes that's all you can utter. You forget you ever felt anything else. Cicadas and crickets chirrup late into the night, voicing their thoughts, forever unknown to us. A chorus of bright and chattering noise. The end.
Oh, beautiful.
Nice.
Beautiful. I loved
It
it.
makes me want to go there.
Yeah. No,
Oh,
there's.
FYI, it's Rhodos, which is an island of Greece. And it
Wow.
was extremely hot.
No, but how you said certain things. It's about what was that about sun? That it will dry or something like that. Then after that, there's a line, which is really nice.
Oh, you mean this? Everything becomes quietly fresh. The drab grey peeling off, turning into spring, maybe?
And no, after that,
Oh, this may be the start of something new.
Yeah.
As I feel the sun on my face.
yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful. It's a lovely poetry. I mean,
Thanks.
if we have to categorize it, say for example, BBPCA has another event coming up. So, what theme you would just put this one under? What category would it come under?
I absolutely love nostalgia. I'm pretty sure you can tell by now. So, holiday trip. But this, I think I wrote on the way from university one day, like I was going home, and I think I saw the rain, like, you know how it slides on the window? And then I just, started writing. Obviously, this was after my trip to Rhodes, and it was
Beautiful.
really hot, like 45 to 50 degrees Celsius. And that was the point of like you have a shower and you get out and you're just like I need another shower. So
Nice.
yeah, that was it.
It's nice. I mean, how you can totally, it's like a portrait, and you can see, create imageries, and people can see that in their mind's eye. So it's really amazing. Lovely.
It's great.
Thank you. Now your turn.
Okay. So I create a bit of a drama for you all, which I love to do.
Should I
Yeah.
step out? for a sec?
No, you don't have to. It's just I put a bit of music underneath.
Oh.
It helps. It doesn't have any title.
Okay.
Must you ruin everything? As if the world were new, as if it were the first morning, as if it were still dawn. The truth, what has already been ruined. Our founding dissolution is our freedom. You must have nothing to lose to love heart and soul. You must eclipse the giddiest height to dare to plunge headlong. You must endure the fall of empires and the greatest storms. To be together in that moment, you must have loved, you must have lost over and again to triumph with you. Love is nothing when it's new, clean and pure. Love before the storm is not a decision, it's a decree. When the event, the accident, the opportunity occurs, be there, standing. Find the word, action, or look. Yes, my love. In that moment, rely on me. I won't go missing. At that minute, I will be there. And so I predict we shall be the winners. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow, that was like I was drifting. It was like a film, very filmy.
Okay, I had not heard that before. This is really nice.
It's like a thingy. It reminded me for some reason of ancient Roman times. I don't know why, but
I don't know. It's probably the music. Did you get to hear the music? The music
the
was.
music, yeah, it was a little bit, and I think the connection was a bit rough, but I did hear some twinkling pianos.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was a line about was it lost love, and it reminded me of that famous quote, to have love, to have
Oh,
not
you
love.
have to endure. You have to. You have to look. I don't. I really, when I write, I need to go back to it. You must have loved. You must have lost over and again.
Yeah, so it is better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all, right?
Yeah.
Shakespeare, maybe.
True,
Can't
yeah.
remember who.
I don't know if it's Shakespeare, but I definitely know the line, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
or maybe
true.
or something.
Yeah. Wow.
Because I think when I was writing, I wasn't writing, and when you're saying now, probably I still can't remember the reference, but my experience says that unless you have lost it once or twice, or no matter how many times, some people need that wake up call to start valuing it. So when you lose that love you have, and sometimes we don't really value what we have. So once it's not only about love, it could be a thing, it could be someone you had, or it could be a habit, it could be a possession. When you lose it, then you value it more. You're like, oh, I had that, or why didn't I take care of that when it was with me, or why didn't I look after that person when they were with me, things like that. So that's the idea that
That is so interesting that you're talking about that, because obviously, as our conversations previously, I was actually getting, well, sort of anxious, maybe emotional, thinking about this. But quite recently, I was with a person somewhere outside in a shopping center, and he left me there actually by myself, like just left. So that's been very, very hard to deal with. But I think it was a turning point. And what you just said about treating someone and thinking, oh, why didn't I treat them better? I don't think it was in my case, but I mean in the opposite way, as in I wish I was treated better. And just feeling, having experienced that already with another person. Or, I mean, the other person threatened to leave me and didn't, but this time it happened. And yeah, I just feel like, very, it was obviously very sad. And me kind of telling the person, oh, I'm still here. Like, why did you just like walk off? And I knew that if it was the other way around, like if I walked off, they wouldn't talk to me. I don't think, anyway, definitely. So
yeah, the worst thing when you end up making someone feel lonely, there could be a lot of different reasons, but first of all, and the things I feel that things happen in our life until that particular moment that arrives for everyone. For some people, I think people who are fortunate, they go through this experience that something happens in your life and you are changed forever. You
yeah,
get the
I
opportunity
didn't
to.
think I would be, but you know, I think, like meditation, prayers, yoga, and all of this kind of stuff, it really, really helps. And it helps with like clarity. So I did have like a sense of, like, yeah, clarity. Like it was clear,
That's the
and I felt
thing.
much better in terms of not feeling anxious. Or is he gonna call? Or am I gonna call? Or all this kind of stuff.
Good.
So
No, it's a
yeah,
work in
I think.
progress all the time. I mean, it doesn't happen overnight. You need to work when you have that feeling or that emotion that kicks in. Then that's the time when you start working on yourself, I think, and that's when you feel that wake up call. And if you don't work on it, then you lose it again. But you
Mm,
need to keep at it. So that's the idea. Selena, thank you for the poetry, and always it's lovely to talk to you.
And we
Thank
see
you.
you on Sunday.
yeah,
Saturday, sorry.
Yes. So 29th, we
Saturday.
are going to see, and everyone who'd like to join, you can come to Rich Mix and there'll be the performance. So we'll have a great time together, hopefully.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
All
Yeah,
right, Selena.
same
You
here.
have a good rest of the evening as well.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye. So thank you. Neha said, awesome. Shifat Ghaziuddin, Bhaiya, that was absolutely beautiful to listen. I'm emotional.
I'm emotion. And
So-
then Neha said, replying to Shifat, you are right, Shifat. Same here. I was almost crying. Yeah, me too. I mean, I'd never heard you. I'd never heard you say that before. It's really
Thank you.
nice.
Thank you.
There's one particular poem which is the absolute favorite poem that you wrote, which I mean it is also on our knowingwhoyouare.blog.
What is it?
Lest you should.
Oh, lest you should.
And what happened is that this is in the very beginning when we weren't really sure if we were gonna actually be together, or well, you were and I was too, but it was sort of should we or should we not, and then it was one of those things where you decided, well, you're gonna tell it exactly how it is.
Lest you should, I think, if you go to knowingwhoyouare.blog, I have a page just dedicated to poetry. So many of the poetries I have recited, they're there already with my voice and recording. And some of them you will find the text. You are more than welcome to. I mean, we want people to go because that website, everything that we have done for Knowing Who You Are so far, you'll find everything, all the live stream, all the videos that are there for Knowing Who You Are there, all the interviews, poetry. And I'm inviting, as I said, Selena and other poets, if you want to send your poetry, we'd like to feature it on the website. And I think if I would request Selena, I would definitely like to have this poetry, which you just recited
Yeah.
today. Send it with a short bio and your picture. We'll just keep it there because we have a page for the guest poets. So this is one of the things we want to start doing for from the Knowing Who You Are community, because we have this plan at some point. We'll organize events where people will be coming and performing, musicians, poets, and there would be a hub. That's one of our plans as well. Let's see where we go. So who's next calling us and sharing their experiences? Anything you want to talk about?
Neha.
Yeah. Neha, yeah. I mean, if she does that, I always ask her to join. Or Shifat is there.
Oh, yeah.
And we haven't spoken to her, and we have to take some updates from her as well.
Oh, they're all talking about how good you are.
Oh, thank you. Replying, and that sounds amazing.
Yeah,
The hub, I
they're
mean.
chatting to each other as usual. It's
I know,
great.
that's good. I
It's
love
great.
that.
We should have a cup of tea.
I mean, we are a community, so it's
Yes.
not about that everyone has to talk to us.
No.
So long we bring everyone together and we have fun together. So say, for example, it's a gathering. So someone's sitting next to each other, they're talking. In the meantime, I'm talking to probably the person next to me. So it doesn't have to be always with us. You can talk amongst yourselves. But so long something touches you and you share something that helps the other person. Say if you're in a moment where you're feeling a little depressed and something lifts you up. So that's what we are here for. And I think that's a service that we want to do. Because my thing is that when I always mention this, and I've seen that as well, and I feel it more. I mean, there was a time, my younger days, when, say, I want to go for shopping, most of the time I would have lists on my phone or anywhere, mostly on my phones, that these are the things I want to buy. It could be next hardware instrument for my studio, or a particular gear, or probably a guitar or a guitar pedal or something. I'm not into like always planning for next shoe, next clothing or this and that, but it's mostly things for studio, my musical instrument, things like
Or
that.
surprises for me. You're very good at that
Yeah,
too.
surprises
I have
for
to
you.
say.
So, but now, because that's the second step now, where I enjoy more giving. Whenever I make lists what I can give to other people rather for myself. So, and the surprise, the smile you see in their face, the enjoyment, and the elation, it's something that's precious. And if you haven't experienced it, try to experience it. It's more than doing it something for yourself, because what you buy, whatever that is, you lose the interest within a couple of days, or even just after, say it's a new clothes, if you wear it after the first time, you lose interest in it. It'll be lying somewhere in your cupboard. But what you have given, and the smile you see, the happiness you see in someone else's face, that's very precious. And you remember that for many years. And also, it's not one way, because you are spreading the happiness, you'll get it back. It will come back in your life.
Yeah, it's true.
Uh,
What is that? Shock mitzai.
Shock mitizai.
Mitizai.
Mitizai means, so it means that, how should I translate this one? Okay, so if you want to get something for yourself, after a while it phases out, basically, the interest. So shock is the interest you have, and mitizai is just which phases out.
Interesting. I actually, when we have a minute, I have a poem that, because it goes back to the subject that I wanted to talk about.
You do it.
Basically, this is a friend of mine had basically left this poem. She left it in a book of mine. Like, she borrowed a book and she left it inside it because she was going to read it and totally forgot about it. And it actually had it hanging on my wall for years. And anyway, I think it's a very nice. It's not written by me, and it's written by Aaron Hansen, and it's called Not.
Okay,
Yeah?
nice.
May I read it?
Please.
Okay.
You have
I
the
think
music too.
I have some music as well.
Yeah.
Oh my god, here we go. Not by Aaron Hansen. You are not your age, nor the size of clothes you wear. You are not a weight, or the color of your hair. You are not your name, or the dimples in your cheeks. You are all the books you read, and all the words you speak. You are your croaky morning voice, and the smiles you try to hide. You're the sweetest in your laughter, and every tear you've cried. You're the songs you sing so loudly when you know you're all alone. You're the places that you've been to, and the one that you call home. You're the things that you believe in, and the people that you love. You're the photos in your bedroom, and the future you dream of. You're made of so much beauty, but it seems that you forgot when you decided that you were defined by all the things you're not.
Oh, beautiful.
That's great, isn't it?
I love that.
It's very nice. This last point, when you decided that you were defined by all the things you're not. I mean, if that doesn't apply to knowing who you are. And it was a copy of the page that she left in a book, and it was, and you can see it's even, I mean, I made a photo of it at the time.
So it says, but it seems,
Which one?
if you read, you are made of.
You're made of so much beauty, but it seems that you forgot when you decided that you were defined by all the things you're not. And
Perfect.
that's why the poem is called Not, because it's talking, you know, you're not your age, the clothes you wear, all the different things.
Because all the things say sometimes how much pressure we feel from people
It's amazing.
outside. It's just external factors that makes
Yeah.
it feel like, oh, I have to do this, I have to be that, and I have to like this, and I have to post pictures like that. Because we are thinking it's not about what I want or what exactly my characteristics say that these are the certain things I should do. It doesn't have to be like someone else who's doing it. Probably that looks good on social media, and probably that's what they want to do, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
So the moment you decide to be someone else, which you are not, then I think you lose the beauty.
Yeah.
And because you become someone else.
Yeah.
And you have to act, you have to pretend, and it's fake.
Yeah.
And something which is a lie can never be beautiful. Selena said that poem reminds me of someone losing themselves. True.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was, and funnily enough, she didn't want to read it because she felt it was too negative. And she happened to be quite a sort of social media, you know, buff, as it were. And I thought, oh man, this is so on point, you know. I mean, I wasn't on Facebook for years, not until, a year and a half ago or something like that. It was just not really because it. And then it wasn't until my work actually it started to be useful. I was like, okay, but it's true if you think about how many people feel worried when they post something and they don't get more than 5 likes or something. It's sad.
It happened with me the other day. I was interviewed on a podcast, someone interviewing me and asked about these perceptions. Because my thing is, it's not about the number of subscribers, to be honest. Definitely it has some value. I mean, I don't even think about this monetizing thing at all, to be honest. My thing is, if I'm touching, and that's what I was saying, for me, it's not about the number of people who are subscribing to the channel. But definitely, if you subscribe, that would help. But it's more about how many lives we are touching. Say if I'm reading something out and even from a line, or like Esther did, even from that last line, if we felt something and if we got this wake-up call, that's more than important, I think. And that's what Knowing Who You Are is all about. I mean, every week I look forward to it so I can engage with some people, get to know their story and share mine. And we can mutually get this realization about certain things in life, and that's how we can enrich ourselves. And this is one of the ways I feel we want to build this Knowing Who You Are community. And all these people who are regular listeners and audience members, we thank you for that support.
It's good. It's really nice.
So who's doing? So Neha, if you have a new lyrics, you can share with us,
Or an old one which you would like to share.
Yeah,
It doesn't have to
you
be
can
new.
share. You can write or you can phone and share with us. Literally, you can read it out. That'd be nice. We'd like to know. And Selena is there. And who else is there? I see quite a lot of people
Yeah,
are already
same
watching
here.
it. So anyone, let me know. People who are watching from England, people who are watching from Bangladesh, or people any part of the world, from America, Australia, anywhere, because we have a lot of viewers from around the world. So I would like to know. There are some silent viewers we get every week, and they watch it quietly. They don't engage. I mean, I don't mind if that helps you, if you find some kind of entertainment or any value out of that. That's totally fine. But we'd like to know you. I mean, it would inspire us as well. And you never know what you can offer until you try. And everyone is unique in their own way. Esther is trying to say something.
Oh no.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Well, I was actually, but Neha, I'm gonna read something out that you sent to me actually the other day, because Neha's like my sister, and we've been through a lot of things together, and something she she sent me a quote from Ray Bradbury, which I thought was really nice. Neha, I'm gonna read it out and put you on the spot. But she sent to me after we had a really wonderful evening together. She said, "We cannot tell the precise moment when friendship is formed. As in filling a vessel drop by drop, there is at last a drop which makes it run over. So in a series of kindnesses, there is at last one which makes the heart run over."
Wow.
By Ray Bradbury. And she was describing our friendship, and it was so poignant and so nice, it almost made me cry. So Neha, if you don't call tonight, at least your voice has been heard via my phone.
Yeah, I mean, you should at least share your lyrics, because this is another thing. Sometimes we create things and we don't feel confident about, and you are not depriving yourself, you're depriving the world of that.
Yes.
But when Mac Hawk of Feedback felt that he can sing your lyrics, I don't know why you don't feel like reading it or sharing with the rest of the world. So you should. And we need to know our self-worth. It's very important.
Yes.
I mean, sometimes we end up not doing those things thinking what people will think. Trust me, no one will think anything. People don't have the time. They are already quite worried about themselves, what we are thinking about them. So they don't have the time to think about you. So it doesn't help. I mean, it doesn't work like that. And to be honest, when you do something of courage,
Like me singing the Dutch national anthem completely wrong a few weeks
Exactly,
ago.
yeah. You should try. She's working on it.
I'm working on it.
And Selena said, as I call regularly, I feel like I should get to vote the next caller. Definitely, Selena.
She's voting
And-
Neha. Neha.
And so there's 3 votes we have already cast. It's Selena, Esther, and me.
Yeah,
So you have
it's a
3 votes.
majority.
It's a majority, and you're 1. We are 3. So we are asking we vote Neha to give us a call. Sorry, and also share a lyrics or anything, or you can tell us something about anything and everything.
Did you have a song prepared for this week, by the way?
No,
No? Okay. All right.
no song. No, I mean, normally the thing is, I need to get my voice a little bit warmed up, and suddenly if I'm
Yeah.
singing,
Yeah.
and also talking for 2 hours, as you know, I'm the bigger talker here, and you hear me all the time talking while Esther is sitting there, poor Esther, silently and waiting for her turn.
No, I'm
No,
not
but I
at
feel
all.
sometimes when I watch the show, the repeat, I'm like, oh my God, my media days and also my broadcasting career, the thing is that I've been so used to doing all the live shows and talking on my own. I just can't help it when I'm in
But I
front of
think
camera.
it's fine. I think it's totally fine because the point is that the whole show, and it's very interesting when I actually think about it. Because even when you look at the videos that we put on, like I just I enhance it by coloring, I enhance it by music, and I think I just enhanced the show by being here.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. We value your presence, but you do have your input.
I do. I have my own viewpoint.
I don't
for
want to
sure.
make light of it, and I do
not at
value
all.
it.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, but I actually I was thinking of something that when I was little, because we were talking about experiences and things that advice that you're given when you're young that you can still use that really helped you. And I remember.
Oh, you
when
didn't share yours, right?
No, but
Okay,
I mean,
please.
I didn't actually have anything in mind at the time.
Uh-huh.
I was just curious because sometimes there is these things that happen when there was actually I was a teenager and I was in trouble, and there was because I didn't know what to do. I was stuck on something, and there was a gentleman, an elderly gentleman, a Chinese gentleman who read out a poem from a poet from New Zealand.
Wow.
And he basically said to me, instead of telling me what to do,
Yeah.
he just read out the poem, which is life is only froth and bubble, but two things stand in stone: kindness in another's trouble and courage in your own.
Do it again.
Life is only froth and bubble, but two things stand in stone: kindness in another's trouble and courage in your own.
True.
So, you can be annoyed with someone, but realize they might have something going on that is affecting them very badly to act irrationally. And you have to, if you have your own troubles, you can't just blame it on everyone else. You have to have courage in finding the source of it.
True.
And, talking about life and froth and bubble, it's true. If you think in the millennia of time, what is one lifespan? It's nothing. It's like a blip in the ocean. So, the stable point of, be nice, look a little bit further than what you see in front of you right now, because that person reacting all over the place might be suffering a great deal right now. So before you go judge them, think again. And also, don't be too hard on yourself, but be courageous in sorting out the right thing. And it has stuck with me. I used to write it down. I used to write it on my arm,
Also, to be courageous to face that. You can avoid it. You can run away from that. It won't solve it. It will be there.
Yeah.
What you resist persists.
Yeah.
So it stays there.
Yeah.
You have to deal with that.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
Shifat
so
had
Shifat's
said,
read something. She says, "Guys, sorry, I'm in and out as it's school night. Lol. Yes, not a problem." But when I was a teenager, a quote that stuck throughout my life is, "The stars shine down and watch us live our little lives and weep for us." I think it's so beautiful and poignant, honestly, and it stayed with me. I was about 14 years old when I found it. It's a Sidney Sheldon book I was reading. It was at the prologue part. Lovely.
so after that you fell in love with the stars.
The stars shine down and watch us live our little lives and weep for us. Interesting.
Weep for us.
Yeah.
Why weep? We do have good times too, sometimes. Right?
Oh, wow. Ooh, something huge just came in.
Oh, Selena, you can read
from
from there.
there. Okay. Selena says, "I love this from Charlie Kaufman's." How do you say that?
You're too quiet.
Oh, am I too quiet? Okay.
Yeah.
She says, "Everything is more complicated than you think. You only see a tenth of what is true. There are a million little strings attached to every choice you make. You can destroy your life every time you choose, but maybe you won't know for 20 years, and you'll never ever trace it to its source. And you only get one chance to play it out. Just try and figuring out your own divorce. And they say there's no fate, but there is. It's what you create. Even though the world goes on for eons and eons, you are here for a fraction of a second. Most of your time is spent being dead or not yet born. But while alive, you wait in vain, wasting years for a phone call or a letter or a look from someone or something to make it all right. And it never comes, or it seems to, but doesn't really. And so you spend your time in vague regret or vaguer hope for something good to come along, something to make you feel connected, to make you feel whole, to make you feel loved.
Beautiful.
Oh my God.
So beautiful.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Selena. It's amazing. I hope everyone
crazy.
who's,
Wow,
it's there for everyone to read it as well.
Very nice.
And
we're taking today to a whole new level.
Yeah, I love
taking
that.
to the stars.
Do you see people who join us in
amazing.
Shifat, Selena, Saira, Neha, everyone
Beautiful.
are so capable in their own way. And that's what I talk about, that we don't have to give anything and we're not doing a masterclass or anything. Because these shared experiences, the wisdom, because how you interpret something that you have read, that's your own experience. I might interpret it in a certain way, but what it make you feel, because there are certain quotes I would say, because those made me feel something, but there are certain quotes that I haven't heard about. Like this one is amazing.
Great. Selena says, I didn't write it, it's Charlie Kaufman. Yes, no, we did get that.
Yeah, definitely. But even for you to, as a reader, to pick that one out,
Nice.
that's, on his behalf, definitely, we can thank you. And
She says, I wish I wrote it. I really love things like this. They might sound sad, but on a deeper level, they're much more. Absolutely. What it is, it's not sad. It's looking at it's reality. Because it's actually what I was saying also. Life is froth and bubble. It's gone in a minute. So what are we going to do? How many times have we said, there's nothing worse than being in a maybe? It's better to say yes or no, and even if the no is wrong, at least you're not hung up in the should I not?
It's about the decision, and also if you bring it down, this is what we're talking about every day. It's about working on yourself first and find the happiness from within, rather than depending on external factors and thinking that there's a new article or this new material that would make you happy. If you buy this new iPhone 13 Pro Max, that will make you happy, and if it's 1 terabyte, it's even better. It's not about that. You lose the interest within 7 days. It happened with me all the time, and nowadays that's why I don't even upgrade my phones. I just get a new SIM card if the upgrade comes, because I've done it every 2 years, every year whenever the upgrade was due, and I found within 7 days, first couple of days, I'll just hold it like this, and sometimes it's at the risk of falling down from my hand because I'm holding it so delicately. But after that, I'll just throw it in bed, and I'll just put it there on the table. It happens because we lose the interest. Anything that's based on external factors, it's very transient. It's temporary. But something that you can build from within, that stays with you. That's part of you, and it cannot leave you because it's there. It's part of your spirit. So
Nice.
That's really true.
Great, huh?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And that's what we are saying. And Selena shared some stories as well.
Yeah.
Because Selena, look, last time you shared a situation when during Christmas, a person we have been discussing about, you didn't find that it sometimes always make you question about your self-worth, make you feel depressed, sad at times. And still you chose to go out with a person probably during Christmas or somewhere. Then you were saying that your experience you shared with us, thanks to you. But look, your happiness, you thought that, okay, if you had a text or a phone call, or if you go out with that person, which you could have done yourself, you could have taken that walk or just with another friend probably, but you have chosen to do that. So yeah, sometimes. So things like that really are the wake-up calls for us. Yeah. If we think about it, close our eyes and read and just reflect on it, take our time, all distractions off, take a moment, give that moment and try to live through those emotions, read between the lines and stay there, dwell on the words. I think you'll see something. Even if you try to practice, trust me, it becomes habit. We all need some kind of companionship at some point in our lives. But to be honest, if it doesn't work, if it's toxic and if it tends to change you as a human being, it's better to be yourself. And if you're a strong-willed person and if you're strong enough, you can deal with it yourself. And once you can, there's no, okay.
No, please finish.
No, I mean, once you have done that, then you'll find that you don't need anything else, to be honest. Everything is a bonus. And once you are happy and you're strong, you can help others. You can be loving to others as well.
Yeah.
Please.
No, and all I was going to add, and as usual, I have never experienced in my life of both having many friends who had partners and, you know, and my own, that there's two people in a relationship, one is desperately unhappy and the other one is completely happy. There is no such thing as one being totally fine with everything and happy as a clam and the other one isn't. Because how could the other person, supposedly happy, be happy seeing that the partner isn't doing well? So if you have a person that's with you that, you know, you're not happy with, they're very likely feeling the same thing. But in this day and age with, I mean, what you see in the media, it's like the amount of illusions that are being created that it's impossible to find the right one and it's difficult and, you know, you can't trust anyone and blah blah blah. People so desperately hold on to a relationship, but it is, if it's not good for the one, it's most likely not good for the other
Also,
either.
there are choice paralysis as well.
Yeah.
When you have things like Tinder,
Yeah,
and you can always swipe right or left.
yeah, which is not really the good old let's meet up and then you come with flowers and, you know,
Yeah.
it's a lot more risky to do
I'm
it in
happy
real
that
life.
you're that romantic. That's how I am as well. So Selena says, okay, that's so true. If you change the phone case, it creates the illusion. Exactly.
Yeah, it's true. However, I have to say, he got me a pair of pink Doc Martens, and that's over a year ago, and I still absolutely loved them. And I think the thought that you were happy for me to walk around in pink Doc Martens.
No, I mean, for my thing, I used to think for a woman after a particular age to wear pink all the time would, I mean, it doesn't align with my
then
kind
you
of
met
thought.
me.
But then I met Esther and she makes it look good and she loves that. She loves all the glitzy stuff and something that has glitter and things like that. When we go out, whenever I see a pair of shoes with glitter, a pink shoe with glitter, can you imagine? I feel like I have to get, and I bought once. And the pair I brought home, one was 5, another was size 7. So it was made.
They were amazing. They were these fluorescent magenta glittery trainers. And unfortunately, the shop had given him a pair of 2 sizes.
And we went back.
Oh my
it
God,
wasn't
they
there.
didn't
The
have
size
it. And every time I still
her size
look,
wasn't
you know,
there.
oh my God, anyway. It's very nice.
So we had Selena says he's calling as we speak.
Okay.
Selena, by all means, if you need to take that call, please go ahead and take that call. And everything is within your prerogative. You choose to do what's good for you.
We are okay if you can't carry on.
It's
with
not
the
only
show.
about us as well.
Absolutely,
Not about that person as well.
Yeah.
It's about you.
Yeah.
I mean, what would make you feel good? If that call can lift your spirit, that's one thing. If it doesn't, that's again your choice. And Selena says it's over after being left in a food court and much more. It's a definite wake-up call. Okay, I didn't read that. I said all those things, but you...
say anything. I was like, yeah, wait till you read the next one.
Okay, Selena, so we know your decision now.
There we go.
No more decision fatigue for you.
Okay, good.
So
Stay at the show.
Yeah.
Stay with us, Selena.
Stay with us. It's over after being left in a food court and much more. It's a definite wake-up call.
Yeah.
I think I've been choosing people who don't deserve me. We do it. We do it in our lives, and how many of us are guilty of that? Many times.
done it.
You've done it probably. I've done it probably.
Yeah.
I have to find someone who's worthy of my life. Exactly. But as I say, as I read as well, when you're ready, when you prepare yourself, trust me, you don't have to you don't have to go to Tinder, you don't have to go to a pub on a weekend. That person just comes.
Yeah.
You attract them somehow.
Life
Like
works
I did.
in mysterious ways.
Yeah. You're saying?
No.
Oh, no.
No.
So
Because I went tap. Sorry,
yeah.
no, I was just being like, yes, agree.
that's the thing. I mean, so going back to the point when you have prepared yourself, you need to work on yourself, to be honest. Like I keep on working on myself every day. And now we work on ourselves together, help each other, inspire each other. So there are days when I'm not my 100%. But then Esther comes forward and lifts me up. And there are days when she's not
Vice
feeling
versa.
good.
Yeah.
Same thing. That day, I try to be the support. So that's very important in a relationship dynamic.
Yeah.
And Selena said, I just went to...
I just
Nido.
went to Nido.
Nido is a food place.
Okay, with my sis and spent the whole day with her. we were talking for hours, and with this person
For 9 hours.
For 9 hours, and with this person we're discussing so hard to converse. I remember feeling bad. I've been criticized for chatting to the waiters. There's no end to the criticism. Sometimes siblings are soulmates, don't you think? I agree. I was with my brother 2 weeks ago, and I went to go see his new house, and he's just become a father, and I thought I would just quickly pop in. I was there 5 hours later. It's true, siblings absolutely can be, and don't have to be soulmates, because, you know, it's everyone is a different person, but I've known siblings not to be soulmates, and I definitely feel that I am with my brother and sister.
Whoever that is.
Yeah.
It could be a sibling, it could be
Yeah.
a friend,
Yeah.
man to man,
Yeah.
girl to girl. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter really.
Because everyone's not the same, and I think this quote I saw once is like, your best friend is the family that you chose. You know, because not everyone grows up with a family that they love, and then they instead have good friends. I'm very lucky that I have an amazing family and amazing friends also.
But it's very poignant, Selena. I would like to read that comment again, a part of it, where he said, and with this person we were discussing, it's so hard to converse, one thing. So it's a draining effect. What you are, what Esther was reading, that poetry, it was not, right?
Not, yeah.
So that's the same thing. Someone who's changing your spirit and who's literally dampening, I mean, literally all the time putting a damp on your spirit. What's the point of being with someone who doesn't value you as who you are as a person? And if you keep on let someone else trample on it over and over and over again, it's a disrespect towards yourself, which you are doing. And I've been criticized for chatting to waiters. I mean, I don't know where it's coming from. To be honest with you, I can experience one of my experiences. My point was, it was in a job where I was in the management. I made sure that I would know the name of every person working in the building, especially, I mean, for the company, and people who are probably cleaners as well. My thing was, it's not about a job or a designation that can define you as a human being. Everyone has their quality you can learn, but also to make people feel their value, that they exist. I mean, I had experiences where, same on my management team, there was someone else. I was asking, he said, Ershad, how do you remember everyone's name? And they're from different countries as well. And I said, well, I make an effort to know, so they know my name as well. So they value me too as a human being. It's not that just because you are in the management, they have to respect you. It's about they like you as a human being. So this job, a designation, is nothing. You can leave the job, you go somewhere else. But what happens, still when they see you on the road, walking down the road, they see you, they recognize that's Ershad. It's not that manager we used to know. So that's what it's all about. And there's interesting comment from Selena. It's nice to, yeah,
it's so nice to be able to talk comfortably with a fellow human being who puts you at ease. Yeah, it's very true. But again, you know, it's one of those situations where you don't have a compatibility, then you're not likely going to find a comfortable conversation either, and that can be on both sides. You know, you just never know.
And Selena's fear. Selena, you definitely are a lot younger than both of us. I mean, I can definitely say at least 15 to 16 years younger, probably. Or at least 10 years. So
Younger.
if you are younger, and we have found each other, and it's not about not finding someone, oh, I'm getting old. What's the point of being with someone who drains you constantly and kind of makes you lose your age, your healthy lifestyle and everything? Then you feel like you're dying every day. You're not living your life. What's the point of finding someone like that? You'd rather be lonely than find that person whenever you're ready and whenever that right person comes along. I know life is short, and Esther and I, we every now and then we talk to each other and say, I wish I found you 20 years back. But you know what? I've been talking about this one and she used to say the same thing. I wish I met you 20 years ago and things like that. But I now feel, and I told her many times, look, 20 years ago, I was in the same Ershad I am now. I had my shortcomings, which I still have probably as a human being. We all have our shortcomings, but it can be, we can balance it and we respond or we work with it. But 20 years back, the Ershad I was probably childish, and there are things in me, the shortcomings I had. Probably she wouldn't have liked it. I'm happy that I found Esther, when I'm in a point of my life, sorry, my voice, that I have, I can understand a lot of things and I feel that I can handle things better in a relationship. I can value my partner better. So, and I can inspire her, and I am in a position where she would feel like loving me more. So I feel this is the best time. And there's another quote where it says that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. So we found each other because we are ready now. That's why we attracted each other. So if you met 20 years before, probably it wouldn't have worked.
No, and the same would have been for me also, because I know what I was like 20 years ago. And it doesn't mean I was a bad person necessarily. It's just I know compatibility-wise with how you are now, it would have been not as easy as it was, or if as it is right now. And the best part is that it doesn't take any effort, and it shouldn't be an effort, and it's really that simple, because the whole point of a relationship is that it enhances what you have, strengthens what you have, and a lot of that how we're doing has to do, from my point of view, with how I changed, because I definitely had unusual ideas of how it should be, and I was sort of, I thought it should be this way and that way, and I sort of realized that I should be a certain way when really I wasn't, and sort of things that I had to change mindsets on about myself, and also just introspecting and looking at where things weren't going well. What was I doing that was causing that, or what had I done that sort of made it not come out that way, and I stopped blaming anyone else. I was no longer ever putting the finger with anyone else other than myself. I stopped justifying anything that possibly wasn't right and blaming someone else for it, or criticizing another person. If another person really was really not that good, then I just would simply no longer deal with them, and not just continuously latch onto them and I don't know, almost use it as a reason to blame them on a constant level, because in the end of the day, that person is the way they are, and you if you're not going to change them, you cannot change another person. A person will change themselves or they won't. And I realized that my biggest mistake was just not being fully honest with what I really wanted, and not really communicating about that. And then in a relationship, that is death. So you basically set yourself up as not being honest, and when you don't have that, well, then you both suffer in the end.
You put it out on the table, and if they like it, they'll accept, they'll change, or they'll try to meet you in the middle point. But if they can't, then it's your wake-up call, and that's when you decide what you should do.
And for me, the biggest change was realizing that everything that happens to me is something that I can change. Everything that I don't like is something that I can be cause over. And anything that I feel that is being done to me is something that I have somehow had some sort of element of creation in. So I need to just not point the finger. And I have to say, taking on a complete, and that might sound ridiculous, because how could you be responsible for everything? You can't really. But at the same time, you can be responsible for your actions. And I found that I'm completely at peace with everyone around me, in harmony with my life. And I don't have this, I should be this, I should be that, or what are they thinking of me? And if someone doesn't like me, I'll find out if there's something I genuinely need to change. And if there isn't, well, then that's their prerogative, and that's just not someone I'm going to hang out with.
Yeah.
And I think because I was so open to being happy to change myself, to be a better person, and you had already done that yourself, we are never finding fault in each other when something isn't quite gelling. It's always like, what happened there? And it makes it so easy to resolve things.
Because I, as I say, it's always a constant work in progress. You cannot just think, okay, now I'm a better person. You need to give yourself, always keep on working and improving up in it, because it's like a habit as well. And something, if it's love, if it's not expressed, at some point, even love gets weaker. If it's a muscle, you don't go to the gym and work on it, that muscle would get at some point flabby. So things like that, you always need to keep at it. And it's not the end of it, but at least there's a point when you reach it. And I mean, further to what Selena said, I can add to that. She's saying, you're right, Ershad, I just feel it's my turn to find love, those nice things people around me are finding. A few weeks ago, we spoke about childhood, not going to go into it, but my childhood at school especially was very lonesome. And I guess I have yearned for that kind of love and connection for years now. I'm a true romantic at heart. I mean, this is one of the things, the idea of romanticism is that there's always a perfect one waiting for us somewhere. That's sometimes another problem sometimes in life that happens to us, because when we find even support, love, affection, rather than in a non-sexual way, where it's not only about passionate relationship or a romantic relationship, but you can still have the love and affection around you. Definitely we want a companion who'd be with us till we die, the last days of our, or the last moment of our life. But if you don't find it, please don't regret, please don't rush, and don't feel rushed that you have to.
It's not worth it.
I mean, I've read even people found someone at the age of 60 or even 70.
Yeah, we read this article, didn't we? Love starts at 65 or something like that. It was very nice.
It was in Reader's Digest.
Yeah, that's right. We have a new
Hi,
listener.
Krishna. Hi, Krishna.
Hi.
Nice seeing you here. So, about her childhood thing, what she was saying in terms of Selena said that she had been bullied at some point, and that's one of the things, our childhood shapes us a lot, and this is one of the psychological things, and also is true. That's true, because whatever we had experienced, it shapes us in a way that we start not believing in ourselves sometimes because of that, and also whatever we experience, and we tend to find that kind of experience even in our partners. So how we were treated, we want to make peace with it. So we always get attracted towards that kind of person. That's another thing that's been found, and it's repeated over and over again. And no one had said it's not right. So it's still true. It's also true.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think in my childhood, in Holland, I can only speak from Holland because that's where I grew up. And there is definitely a very laid-back point of view. And with growing up, like, bullying was not something that happened. It was, and also the whole point of, we have a caller. To be continued. Hello, caller. Who are you?
Hello, Esther. It's me, Anuradha.
Oh, hello. Hi.
She was listening silently.
Yes.
Good.
Thank you for calling.
No, my pleasure. I actually have a good question for both of you today.
Yeah.
Yeah? Can I go and shoot?
Yes,
Please,
go ahead.
Fire away.
Fire away.
Okay. So I was reading on one of this group called Strong and Independent Woman. It's a really interesting post. It says, if you are dating someone, try and find out how that person was raised. A lot of people weren't raised in love. They were raised on survival. That's why you see so many men or women not being able to love properly, or they end up hurting people. Okay, they hurt people. So you'll find a lot of good-looking people actually. Why did they use good-looking? That was not necessary really. But you'll find a lot of people damaged inside because of their past, and you won't realize how damaged they are until you try to love them. If you think a person's past doesn't affect how they see life, then you are sadly mistaken. What's your view about it, both of you?
I'll start. I think that is completely true. And
she always talks about it. That's why I'm letting her talk.
And I think
Okay.
that's why I also said the earlier example, when you have, someone in front of you and you're starting something and they're reacting in a way that makes you upset or whatever, then think twice what is going on with that person and what they are possibly going through at that moment in time. So if you have an argument with them and you walk away from them, perhaps their mother walked away from them 100 times in the past and it very, very upsets them. Whereas a normal person who hasn't done that wouldn't. And I personally am extremely lucky. I came from a loving and very tight-knit family with parents who've been happily married for over 45 years. And they're still happily together. And you're the same. We both come from families where, we've...
To be honest, to be loved by your parents, I'm not sure if it's necessary to have a tight knit family. I mean, if your parents are loving towards you,
Yeah.
whether or not they're together,
Yeah.
that should work, isn't it? I mean,
Absolutely.
if a parent is a bullying parent, like too strict, a
Yeah.
bullying person, then the inner child issue comes out. Am I
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Very
it's,
true, sir.
strangely enough, again, Anuradha, since we both come from Bangladesh, you grew up there as well, I grew up there. And even the tradition was, you remember probably school days and even in family, one of the things was the spare the rod, spoil the child. And so it was a common thing that people would be beaten up, smacked at school, even at home, right?
I do differ. I do differ. My experience is different. But yeah, I'll let you finish.
Yeah, but it's a very common thing. I mean, many people can
Yeah.
say similar things. Like I had all my teachers, my house tutor. This was a common thing. A teacher would smack you, use different techniques to punish you. It was a very common thing. Or growing up, even I studied at collegiate school. Every single classmate can share the experiences where they are. Everyone's established in their own way. But the things that we grew up like that. But thankfully enough, what you had said, I totally agree with that. And I really never subscribe to that idea that you have to use, but there are values and how you are inculcating the idea of humanity or the right lesson and how you're teaching them. There are ways to it because it seems like there's only one prescription that you always have to punish them to straighten them up. There are ways of doing it, but always not necessarily it's that. And how what you said about parents and how they are treated, definitely it would have a lasting effect. As I was saying, people
see.
tend to go for partners who are like their parents because
Okay.
there's an urge,
Yeah.
subconscious urge that you want to make peace with that problem you could never resolve. You want to resolve it and you keep going to that same kind of relationship. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. Oh. Well, for me, my experience is different because my schooling was a Christian missionary school
Oh, wow.
called Holy Cross, and
Yeah.
child abuse was strictly forbidden. So, because of this reason, I was raised by brothers and sisters and all those lovely people, Christian missionaries,
Nice.
and we had other teachers as well, but in my school, it was strictly forbidden to actually do any kind
You're
of child
lucky.
abuse. Yes, we had detention. Our detention was like army kind of detention. Oh, keep standing for 10 minutes. Or, stand, keep standing for five classes, So it was hard, but yeah, no child abuse in our school. So our
That's good.
parents were they were warned by the sisters and brothers that if you raise your hand on your kids, then your kid will tell me, and then I will tell you off. So yeah, my parents, they never actually laid their hand on me, which I'm really, really grateful about. And I think I'm raised differently than my other siblings.
Interesting.
I can relate to what Ershad Bhai is saying. Yeah, my other siblings, they've been through. I mean, they went through the similar situation, but luckily not me. But this is very interesting. Like, if you're dating someone, you should know about this person's past, why this person is hurting you. Sometimes we are head over the hill in love with someone. That person is actually hurting us. I mean, I have seen so many of my friends, they're loving someone or their partner, but their partner are actually hurting them.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
Yeah.
I sometimes don't understand
It's
that
it's
kind of
it's
love
a
relationship,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
But
vicious
now
cycle.
I'm trying to learn. Pardon?
It's a cycle that they keeps falling over and over again and they feel like this is whatever happens because they grew up. But as I was saying, I will add to that. I'll let you finish first, then I'll add to it. Please go ahead, Anuradha.
I finished. I finished.
Okay.
Please carry
So
on.
my example, when I was talking about, say, teachers, in a way, they're punishing, they're raising their hands, and mostly it's rulers when they used to beat on the knuckle of one of my teachers at school. Oh my God. So we know there are a lot of, even there was a movement once for the removal of one of the teachers. I mean, God bless his
Yeah.
soul because he's not with us anymore. He passed away
Oh,
last year. So I remember he beat someone so badly, and we all have seen. I had once or twice, but not that bad. But some of my friends I've seen, really, it's brutal. Anyways, but I think when you have that one from someone outside, say a teacher at school or at home, but then you have supporting parents, I think that's what kept the sanity for us.
Okay.
I mean, that's
yeah, definitely.
yeah. So if you don't have the support, like you are getting beaten up at school, then your house tutor is doing something, then you're going to your parents. There's no love from them. They're saying, yeah, please give them two more, if he's not doing his homework. So then it's a problem.
Okay.
Because I remember,
Give them more.
yeah, because I remember
I
once.
think something
Yeah, please.
similar happens in China as well. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I had Chinese colleagues. They used to tell me their stories.
Oh my
So
god.
I think a similar thing happened in China as well. It's within our culture, Ershad bhai.
yeah.
It's in our culture.
But it doesn't work anymore. Things are changing, thankfully.
No.
Because
no.
there are other ways of raising kids. Because the relationship, if you remember, I mean, I've seen many families where a father was totally, I mean, even if he's loving towards the kid, but he won't show that. And kids would know that they always have to respect him, and he is someone that you have to be scared of all the time. When he comes into the room, straight away everyone goes silent. He's in the house, no one talks, things like that. And I think, please add to that.
My punishment, my dad and my mom used to punish me and my brother in a different way. Like, no MacGyver.
Wow, that's
Oh my God, that's so
punishment.
hard.
That's awful.
500 times. Write it down 500 times that I'm going to listen to my mom from now on. 500 times. Or there will be no MacGyver. So that was my decision.
That's I kind of like it because
For me, it was the A team. It was not MacGyver. It was the A team.
I mean, we had MacGyver, we had
A-Team, yeah.
A-Team, we have what was that wolf thing?
What?
Sky wolf or something?
Oh, Airwolf.
Airwolf.
Yeah.
There are a lot. Yeah, that's true. I mean, but I like how they did that because they're literally hammering in the message inside you in a nice way, and also because it's compared against something that you are so much in love with, so you are bound to do that, but unknowingly in your subconscious is getting totally hammered in. It's really nice.
I only ever got one punishment as a child. That was I didn't get dessert.
Aw.
and I'm a real. I'm a
To be honest, for
I'm a
Esther,
sweet
it's
tooth. That
a
would be
huge
disaster.
punishment.
Oh, really? Okay.
She has sweet tooth, so she loves that. It's really hard.
But
so
it never happened. It was just the threat of not having it that was enough normally.
how old were you?
I was 6, probably 6
Oh.
or 7.
Thank you. I mean, it's a very good point, and the forum that you read it from, I really do appreciate it, and it's true. And what you had said is very valuable in terms of, sometimes people do make an effort to repair that kind of damaged people, but how far can you go? Because if they are beyond any kind of reform and they're not changing themselves, and over again things keeps on resurfacing, I think that's a waste of time because you have a limited number of years in your life as well. Life is short as it is. So you cannot just do it. There's a point when you say that, okay, it's enough. Now I have to look after myself.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like, why is my friend doing this? She's wasting her time. But then again, she's so much in love. I mean, because she's so much in love, I can't even ask her to, you should just move on,
But is she independent? She's financially independent?
What would the wise duo suggest on their show?
No, but Anuradha, is she financially independent as well? Your friend?
I think, yeah, she is. Yeah, I mean, they're both independent.
Yeah, because that's one of the dynamics sometimes, especially in Asian countries when there's domestic abuse and you see domestic violence, many things happen. And they have no other option.
Domestic abuse happens in every culture.
Every culture, true.
Yeah.
But at least in the Western culture, both the husband and wives are working. But normally, say nowadays things have changed in Bangladesh. even the women are working as well. But there was a time, if you look back in the 90s, even in the noughties, like 2000 up to 2010, 5, 6, and still there
Yeah.
are many households, when you're not independent, then you literally hand over your independence and your freedom in someone else's hand. And they treat you in
Yeah.
whatever way they want. I mean, if you have
That's
watched
true.
that movie, Secret Superstar, I think, remember?
Oh yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
How that woman
Yeah.
was treated.
Oh
So
my
that's an
God.
example.
Yeah.
So this is one way, but the thing is, there are some really kind-hearted people who feel that, okay, I need to help this person, and because you love that person. But
Yeah.
some people, there are two ways to do that. Some people go so far away, they end up ruining their life, and at the end, they have no other options left. But for some people, I think the wake-up call is important. I mean, to be honest with you, I have experienced that firsthand in my life as well, where I had to decide that, okay, enough is enough, and I have to find my own way. In a sense, I can be really sympathetic or kind towards a person, but for how long?
Yeah.
So
For how long?
yeah,
Yeah.
for how long? Because if it is kind of changing you, if it making you depressed, so you already have someone who's a little unstable mentally, then you are the person who's a little sane. You are losing the sanity as well. So what's the point of
Oh
drowning?
dear.
You know.
Yeah.
So what they do,
I see.
a person who's drowning already, sometimes you can lift them up holding their hand, but sometimes there are some who literally drags you down as well in the water, and both of you get
gosh.
killed.
Yeah.
So
Oh gosh.
so I
Yeah, this is what I can see. I mean, sometimes I feel yeah, I would agree with you on that. That's how I felt for my friend, and she lives in Bangladesh. Um, and I feel very sorry for her, but I think, only she can help herself, and
Indeed.
only, if the person is trying to heal, her partner is. If somebody needs to heal, he needs to heal himself. No one can heal other person.
and another
Am I
thing,
right?
Yeah. I agree. I fully agree with
from a
that.
psychological point of view, we humans, we have this thing, it's a need for certainty. So
Yeah.
is the certainty of the devil, or than the angel that could be outside? You're like, okay, at least I know this person, I'm familiar with it.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about Bangladesh, I know a similar story where a woman, she literally is independent, she is doing a very good corporate job. The husband she's with, he's an adulterer. He has multiple relationships and everything. She knows. She cries. She comes
Okay.
to office. She shares with her colleagues and friends, and she cries all the time. Everyone suggests you should leave him. She can't. Last 8 to 9 or 10 years, probably she's still with that person and still cries. She's not happy, and she knows. But you ask, this person is independent. She's good looking, but why she's still
Yeah.
stuck? The thing is, it's the uncertainty, and we have the need for certainty in our lives as humans. It's an instinct, because we wanted that when we are hunter gatherers at the time. We didn't know what's behind the bush. It could be a tiger, and you get eaten up by the tiger. So that thing, we are in modern life living with an old machine, which our head, and we have all the memories, and genetically we still are holding the same memory. So we always look for certainty. Otherwise, we get insecure. Why do you think people end up doing jobs which they don't like? It's just for the money,
Yeah.
okay, paying bills, okay, I'm secure. But they don't enjoy the job. How many people can say they really love
No.
their jobs?
Yeah.
Same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm
True.
married. At least I'm married. At least I have a
Yeah.
partner.
Oh my God.
It's better than not having one,
At least I'm married. Good
right?
point.
No,
Oh God. To be honest, I find that being financially independent for a man, even for a man, it doesn't mean that they are spiritually and emotionally independent.
true.
True.
It doesn't mean that they are empowered within themselves. It doesn't mean they can think outside the box. That yes, I'm financially independent, but how happy I am with my partner or how unhappy I am with my partner, they don't think outside the box. I don't think being financially independent or dependent has got anything to do with it.
No,
To
even
be
how
honest.
many, I mean, with people with highest degrees, say a PhD, you'll see probably at the age of 60, they're still a child. How many people
Oh
you'll
yeah.
find? I mean, a degree or your study doesn't change you unless you change from within yourself. But there would be someone who never had been to any school, but you'll
No.
find
Yeah.
he is treating his family right, his partner right, he's looking after the children, and he's being loyal to his
Absolutely.
family. So it's a totally different
Absolutely.
dynamic. So it doesn't mean anything, to be honest. As I was saying, that
Absolutely.
if you have wrong values, if your values are not right, no matter all those things, all the boxes you take, you are good looking with beard. Remember the fashion show which you were drooling over as well? So, so you have to think about if that person is damaged from inside with that modeling career and the degree and everything, it won't do anything. No, it's a
Oh
joke.
gosh.
So yeah,
But obviously, it doesn't mean that, a person in need in short term can have reactions that you don't like or that they're not good. But if you're looking at a long term, because I'm thinking about your friend, like she's in this relationship with this person that is really not good for her. But in the end of the day, it's going to be her decision. And I've had to help several people like that. Even a woman who was 8 months pregnant, and her husband who was just, giving her a hard time, and she was like, I should stay with him, and blah blah blah. And in the end, I just said to her, look, is it just more survival, or is it just more harming to stay with him? And in the end, it is your decision. Like, are you going to go into this, adventure with this child with a man who is how he is? And I said, I bet you if you told that guy, look, you don't have to stay if you don't want to stay. And sure enough, she actually got the courage to tell him, if you really don't want this relationship, you can go. And he already had his bags packed. And he left an hour later, leaving her with an 8.5-month pregnancy.
Oh gosh.
Which in the end of the day, it was a good thing because, she had so much peace of mind. The child labor was 2 hours. The child is beautiful.
Yeah.
I know her very well. And there was no problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but it's very much like you said, you have to be caring for what another person has gone through. It's like this poem I was reading out earlier. Life is froth and bubble, but two things stand in stone: kindness in another's trouble and courage in your own. You can't just dismiss someone because they're, being troublesome. But if they're troublesome to the degree that it's tearing you down and you're actually suffocating because of it and you are really not surviving, then I would say, why are you having the relationship? I'm sure the other guy is also not feeling very good about it,
No.
So,
you're right.
But in the end, it is up to the person. And again, like if you have someone who is always talking about, and it's so bad, and it's so bad, and it's so bad, and then you can say, look, there's only so much I can tell you, because in the end of the day, it is your life. And
I told my friend, Ershad Bhai mentioned a person who was an adulterer. So, so I tell them this kind of people. I mean, a lady, for example, a lady is moaning about her husband being an adulterer, going to different women.
yeah,
So I tell them, if your husband is a polygamist,
yeah,
so if you cannot accept a polygamist in your life, you should separate yourself from him.
yeah,
But if you can't separate, then you have to accept that he is a polygamist and you have to live happily with him.
yeah.
How about that?
Yeah,
love
I
it.
think that's
Come on.
very good advice.
Accept him.
Yeah.
You can't change a polygamist into a monogamist.
Yeah.
You are a monogamist. Your husband is a polygamist. You can't change him,
No.
okay? So you have to accept him
Yeah.
as a polygamist.
Yeah.
If you can't accept him, just move on, you know?
That is
Leave
very,
that.
very, very good advice. Because it's like saying, I don't want to, I can't leave him, but then every conversation she's talking about how horrible he is. Well, then, okay, you always have a choice.
Yeah, you have a choice.
You really
And
do.
don't you think that even some women in our culture, especially from our culture, they think that they can change their partner? That's the wrong idea. No one can. No one can change anyone.
Yeah.
No
Unless
one.
that
I mean,
person wants to
it's vice versa.
Yeah.
For both, it works because people think, okay, no problem. I like this girl or I like this man. let me get married. And after you get married, okay, you have to start covering your head, probably change your clothing or how you dress.
You have to lose weight.
Or you have to lose weight. And the same goes for the man. Okay, you have too many friends. You can't do this. You can't go out because you have seen everything.
Yeah.
So you make the choice beforehand, not after that. Because as we always discuss about these things, the moment you have to start changing yourself for someone, it means that that's not the right person for you, because you have to make an effort. When you have to make an effort in a relationship, like constantly to keep it together, it means that it's not the right one.
Yeah. Unless, of course, you have some really bad habits. Like, let's say someone is, he's an alcoholic and he decides to make the changes because he wants to make for the good. Then that's obviously the right change to make.
No, but this effort you're doing for yourself. But say someone is telling you, Anuradha, you have to start wearing this kind of clothes. You cannot do that kind of makeup. And then you start doing it because you're making an effort to change yourself.
Yeah.
What you are used to, you're not doing anymore, because that person would end up getting,
I was just spelling it out.
So then it means that it's not the right dimension. I mean, the dynamic is totally wrong.
Yeah. But unfortunately,
absolutely.
it's unfortunately up to the person themselves to see that and decide that, because as I have had, I'm sure you have too, the frustration of being an exterior point of view. You can look at something and you're thinking, why are they staying together? This is mad. But when you're in it, it's very hard sometimes to make that decision.
No, the relationship should enhance you.
Yeah.
When you're together, it means two people. It should be better than one.
Yeah.
When you find that being two, it means that it's worse than one, then it's better to be single. Then you're better off.
It's true.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So I don't know
Exactly.
in what way people end up staying like this, because for the sake of having someone. There are good times. Probably in a month you have a few good times when you sit together, or that person smiled at you. Just for that, you would ruin the whole month. Then probably the next 7 to 8 years of your life until you have a wake-up call. If you don't have, then until the rest of your life, until you die.
Yeah. Fascinating.
So
That is true.
very good point, Anuradha. Thank you. Nice talking to you, and thanks for the call.
Pleasure. And lovely talking to you both. Yeah.
Thank
I'll
you.
be watching your show.
Oh,
Great.
please.
Thank you very
Keep doing
much.
it.
Super. Thank you
Bye-bye.
again. And
Bye.
bye-bye.
So we have Shifat added something. She said, "This is so interesting. I'm the eldest out of 3 girls and was raised with beating almost daily, but I wouldn't ever even think about doing that with my kids. My 2 younger sisters had 0 beatings.
Wow.
They're lucky.
They're very lucky.
I got a lot. That's how I learned 1 to 100. My mom, she helped me with a ruler in her hand. I was crying my eyes out. I was like, 21, 22, 23, 26. Okay, 24, 25. So it happened with me like that.
You know how my father taught my nephews and nieces to do the table? He says if you get it right and you can rattle them out in 1 minute, you get £100.
Oh, Mike.
Oh, we have another caller. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello, my man. What's happening? You're in a party.
Yes.
You've been watching what's happening, Mike.
Yes, I've just been watching it, but I think there's a bit of a delay from what I was watching. So hearing you guys answer kind of made me jump.
Oh, I see. Yeah, the best thing is when you're calling in, just turn the live off because we're on a slight delay on the live.
Yes. Yeah.
But
Is it
great to
still
hear your
live
voice. Great to hear your voice. Yeah, no, we can hear you totally fine.
now? Oh my goodness. How are you guys doing? I'm loving the stream.
Oh my God. You're live. You're live.
Oh, it's
On air.
beautiful. Oh, how are you both doing?
We are great,
We're
Mike.
good. We're good. So tell us your story or give us your question. That
And
you
Happy
have.
New Year to you.
Yes, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I hope you had a splendid time. Okay. Let me think of my question. So, what I'm trying to perfect, I guess, like personal development, right? That's kind of a concept we're thinking of. I'm trying to master the ultimate, I don't know. You, Ershad, like, I'm trying to, you kind of know me in the real world, but I'm like trying to be I'm a person who's managed to buy myself 3 years of no working, essentially, right? So I don't have to worry about finances. I managed to blag university for this year, and I've got my masters. Beautiful. So
Awesome.
it's all the pieces of the puzzle are there, apart from, you know, like sort of motivation to a degree. It's motivation, and it's sort of a battle against myself and the unlimited time I have.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Like, I'm trying to keep an optimum. I try and do I was listening to actually one of your podcasts when you were talking about keep a journal, and you mentioned sort of like keeping to that schedule you write about in your diary. And I've been trying to do that, but then sometimes I struggle to achieve everything I want to do within a day, right? And I know you have to kind of accept a little bit of not being strict about it, I guess, sometimes, but I kind of don't want to accept less. I feel in my mind I've got a very kind of rugged sense of, if I accept less of what I'm trying to achieve, then I can only accept that as my reality of life. You know what I mean? So if I go, oh, I've only done, like, so I'm trying to be a musician for all the beautiful listeners out there.
You should probably
so
sing something for us today at some point.
Pardon?
You should probably sing something for us at some point for everyone.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Great.
I'll totally do that.
Yes.
I'll come in and
Perfect.
we'll do that. We'll have a jam. It'll be beautiful. Yeah, so, but the thing is like, for example, I was in the pursuit of this. So say I've got,
Perfection.
if I have a million things to do, but I don't do, so, and I go to bed not doing, say, like 3 hours worth of studying, for example, I really struggle to accept that, you know? And I don't like the idea of trying again tomorrow. It scares me. That's not scares me, but it's like,
Annoying.
it just feels like I accepted the letter day, you know?
Yeah, well, that's a good thing at least.
Well, no, this thing, it is with me as well sometimes, but I've learned one thing. Okay, your to-do list, how big is that? That's the question here.
Okay, well, I'll tell you shall I tell you my today's to-do list that I've only got a few ticks on, for example. So it's basically 4 hours of practicing the guitar and piano. I have to kind of tone it back because I've got nerve damage still. I wrote Sort Life Out for 3 hours. That just means admin, like look at finances and whatnot, and clean my room. And then I've got songwriting, ear training, Portuguese, exercise for 2 hours, and do my hand 3 times.
Okay.
Like the exercises for that. So that's quite doable within a day. However, I woke up late this morning. That's always sets it on a bad path.
What they say normally, even in habit formation, there are a lot of literature on this. First of all, when you are creating a lot of resistance for yourself by creating a huge list, which you have, definitely you have probably 18 hours or at least say 17 hours, say 15 hours you have where you can do all those things. Say if the rest is for rest or sleep or everything. And definitely the hours you have, 3 hours, 4 hours, I still can see 7, 8, 9 hours probably. You would still have 6 hours extra where you can eat, you can go out, do other things. But the thing is that the things you are telling yourself that you have to do, you're already struggling, which means you have a resistance from inside, right?
Yes.
So the way to do it is make it easier for yourself. And also on a to-do list, normally you should do only 2 to 3 things a day. Only keep those things that are most important. If you don't handle them right now, you'll be in problem or you'll have some trouble.
Right.
So say, for example, yeah, definitely, like I would like to speak Dutch fluently. I should put that on my list because my partner is Dutch. I mean, she that's her origin. And then there are other languages I want to know. I want to sing some Indian classical. Then I want to do some jazz. I want to practice some guitar. I do have those lists and I do them in a way. But I don't do it in a way that is not aligning with my reality. Say, I know I have to do this live stream. I have to do research on it. And then I do some writing. How much time do I allocate? I have normally a to-do list, or normally people that what they suggest, that's why I follow that. Just 2 or 3 that are the hardest that I would do, especially the hardest one. We always find it hard to get back to towards the second phase of the day. There are 3 phases normally. The second one, neurologically, our mind, it gets tired by the time. So if you have to do the hardest one, which one is the hardest in your list, you think?
Like, if I'll be honest, like, it's not the one I have written here today, but But to be honest, it'd be like studying, as in taking notes off YouTube videos and stuff. That's the most brain ram.
You should start your day with that probably, to be honest. At least even if you don't do, normally 3 hour you can't do back to back. After 90 minutes, you won't be able to have that attention. But normally every 3 minutes we change. Anyways, our attention, if you are listening to something, looking at something, after 3 minutes, your attention would go. So there is an app I use, which is called Forest. So what I do normally, every 20 minutes, 25 minutes or 30 minutes, your phone, you set up this so it can grow a tree after 25 minutes if you don't touch your phone. So during that time, if I'm reading, if I'm writing, I just do it. And sometimes it feels like, okay, I have to get up. I can't do that. But I'm like, okay, because if you get up, you touch your phone or do something, and you feel accountable because you have set yourself this time that within 25 minutes you'll do. So you feel like after 25 minutes, give yourself the 5 minutes of highlight. Like, okay, I've achieved something, give yourself a break. Then pick up your phone, check Instagram, do your Facebook or do whatever. But the thing is, make it small. And also things that you find the hardest, don't say, I want to study 4 hours today because you didn't do any yesterday, right? Say, for example, today you want to do 4 hours. How is it going to happen? You have to start doing in increments. And there are times, that's why it's better, because I have done it myself, overnight studies, overnight projects and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
But if you keep at it every day, give yourself an hour, 1 hour, because once the habit is there, you'll find it easier. It's same for going to the gym. One day you feel in your routine, I will be at the gym for 2 hours of weightlifting and this and that and everything. And you haven't been to the gym probably for last 2 weeks. And suddenly you want to stay there for 2 solid 2 hours of workout. So you have to start. Okay, today I'm going to do 20 minutes. That's all. I'm going to come out. You know, you have to build that habit first of all. Your body has to recognize that, okay, the man is not listening to me anymore. I have to oblige. So your brain would say, no, please don't, Mike, don't sit down and study for 4 hours. But you do it 20 minutes anyway, then you do something else. You come back again. Don't stretch that break time for too long. Otherwise, you'll just fall off the wagon, as they say. So you have to come back and start doing it again. I have done it.
It makes a lot of sense doing that. The incremental thing. Like, part of me just feels like obviously this is the reason like it hasn't particularly worked yet, but I've always want to kind of just go dive into it, and be like master the mind, hardcore style. I know it doesn't particularly work like that, and that's probably why it hasn't worked. But I'm sort of like,
and also don't be harsh towards yourself. Don't be too hard. Like, don't be too hard. Don't beat yourself up for not doing it. If it goes to the next day, say you have 3 things on your list. If you end up not doing it, and one thing you have to do tomorrow, please be kind to yourself. Because if it was someone else, you won't start telling them off probably. But why you're doing it to yourself? And this is why you build up harder resistance as well towards the thing. It's like you start hating it. Because every day you fail to do it, you are being hard on yourself. So that's one of the things. Sorry, Esther was saying something.
Yeah, and I was going to add to that, because you're talking about, well, how then do you do that? And so one thing that we started doing is we make a list of all the things that we need to do in a week. And then, for example, you say 3 hours of admin and doing sort of getting your life together, right?
Yes.
But you could also just write, deal with all emails. And then the next day, so you basically, it's a done. Because if you name what it is that you're trying to do more specifically, then you can actually finish it. If it's something that is completable. For example, I do a lot of online courses at the moment on graphic design and Photoshop. So rather than saying do 2 hours of lessons, I'll say do tutorial 1, 2, and 3. And that might be 45 minutes. And then it's done for the day, and then I leave it. Because you can get overwhelmed by the vast stuff that needs to be done. So I think that's, and then the other thing, I used to make a list of everything that needs to be done because I didn't want to forget anything. So what I have is just, I have my large overall list, and from that I break it down over a week.
Break it in smaller chunks, like even when she's saying email, just say emails from the university.
Yeah.
or emails from the work. You don't have to tackle all the emails.
Yeah.
Even break it
No.
down further. Because what happens, we say that motivation comes from, out of thin air. It doesn't happen like that. Motivation only comes, it's on a research as it's been found. Once you have done something, that's when you get motivated.
Yeah.
You finish one project at probably one of your assignments, then suddenly you feel like, oh my God, I can do
the
another
next
one.
one.
I can do the next one because you have achieved it. It doesn't happen. I every time you do something, and always leave something in the day that is a highlight of the day. Just every day, the night before, you plan, tomorrow I'm going to do that. If I can do that, that will be an achievement. Trust me, this is how you motivate yourself. If you say, okay, if I can sit down at my desk for 20 minutes or half an hour at a stretch and finish this chapter of these 2 pages or these 3 pages, what I want to read from the research paper, then I'll give myself a pat on the back. So that will be your highlight. And once you build that system inside, it doesn't happen overnight. It's called that. There's a thing called monkey mind. Probably you've heard about that. And our mind, that monkey always keeps on saying, Mike, don't do it. Ershad, don't do it. Esther, don't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always like this.
Yeah.
But you need to overcome by building this, how to fight this resistance. You have to be on top of the resistance, but you can't be like so hard on it. You can win it a day or two, or the third day, fourth day, you will fall off the wagon again.
It makes a lot of sense.
Good.
It makes a lot of sense. Here's
Thank you.
another question. Do you think there can be a danger of sometimes being too nice to yourself?
Well,
Like
that
the
depends.
other way around.
Well, there can be a danger of being distracted, because obviously if you think, well, I really deserve to what we do is like we just have a day where we watch movies, we go out for walks, we go out for a trip, we just spend a day doing all the things we love doing. And in this way we basically, then it's like you recharge your batteries and then you're ready to go again. It's not like it's like this every single day. But like we know that Sunday or Monday when we have the show, it's a work day. We have 2 to 3 hours of show and there's preparation and research that we're doing, and then so we know on another day we'll do our movies, fish and chips or pizzas or whatnot.
Because even for that, say food-wise, say I'm going to the gym, I shouldn't be having certain food. Probably I avoid that. But there are days when I reward myself. Like, okay, today I worked hard, so I can give myself, I can have a little bit of cheese, I can have a pizza, I can have a burger at Five Guys or whatever.
And we don't call it cheat day, by the way. We call it reward day.
Oh, that's a nice positive
It is.
spin. That's quite lovely, actually. Well, here's another thing I'll bring up. This is the last sort of scenario I'll bring to the table. And that goes on to that whole, the food as an example. For some reason, I'm kind of like, I describe myself like a light switch. I can either do full on or full off. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I'm being healthy, I can be healthy for like 6 months, only eating the good thing. But if I have one chocolate bar, I spiral into like a year.
I'm the same. I'm the same.
But if you don't have a balance, Mike, the thing is, if you're being too hard on yourself, the other day I was talking to someone who's like into like, okay, I'm just having salad and that, everything is good. But that person is used to, she has a sweet tooth. And she's saying, I'm totally on salad now. I don't want to have cheese and this. In which case, your body is used to certain thing. And if you straight away overnight, you're saying, okay, now everything stops.
Yeah.
It will,
It won't last.
it will rebel against this one, and it
yeah.
won't really agree with you.
Yeah.
So that's one of the ways, because you have to do everything you do, start a process and build that habit first, then you'll find everything becomes easier from
And
that
also
point.
just find alternatives that are, that are nice, that you can enjoy, but that are not, killing you, because obviously your body, likes certain things. And
like say I like rice, right? But I make sure I don't have white rice.
Yeah.
I always have to have the brown rice.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
nice.
you have to find the alternative. I mean, if you can't live without it, or at least you need it every now and then definitely you have to make sure what are you going to have. So
Okay, that makes sense. So find like what is the optimum reward day treat that doesn't let you go too far.
you're starting with the treat day straight away.
Oh yeah, day
No.
one. Yeah, well,
No, but for example, we have like I used to drink a lot more coffee, but now I drink peppermint tea and I like it with honey. You know, there's no. I used to have sugar in it, but now I do honey in it, or other things like that. Instead of crackers and whatever, I now have rice cakes, which are like a third of the calories, but I can at least have my cheese and my meats, and so it's just sort
Yeah.
of finding.
And say
a happy
you want to
medium.
have chocolate. Say you feel like, okay, I want a chocolate.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a whole bar of chocolate. You just have, say, for example, sometimes when I like to have, say, Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
What I would do, even if I have it in my fridge, I don't normally do shopping like the things that's harmful for me. I don't even stock them at home. But there are times, say you had one, the bottle is lying around. So what I do, if I feel like, I just have just a little bit of the Coke. That's done. That's enough. Say if you want a chocolate, you can have a chocolate chip or something. 2 or 3 on
And
your
here
tongue.
you're dealing with someone who has a very good self-discipline. Because me, on the other hand, when I know that there's a chocolate bar in the kitchen, I will just eat the whole thing and I'll keep eating it until it's gone. Which is why in December, I made sure I ate everything that we had sweet for Christmas, didn't buy anything else, and completely stopped sugar in January. But that's the only way I can stop myself, unfortunately.
No, my way is, and also,
I kind of I resonate with that. I'm very on the
but
same
I can
page.
do it.
no, also the one way is because you have to be kinder to yourself.
Yeah.
You have to understand that your body craves for it, and you can't just stop it. It's then you'll fall back again in your bad habits, and you'll start again. Because if you don't build a habit, and if you don't ingrain this habit inside you, then there are chances that anytime you'll totally, get back to your bad ways of doing things.
Definitely, yeah. And-
Mike, this is exciting. We're going to follow your Knowing Who You Are adventure from here on
Oh,
out.
I'm very excited.
Okay, do
about
one
that.
thing, Mike.
Yeah. Yes.
Start with probably to-do list of 2 or 3 things, and
or 3
start with
things.
the hardest, but don't start with, I'll do 6 hours of study today. No, do
No.
at least 15 minutes of study. Then again, take a break. Again, 15 minutes, chunk of 15 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that would be the one hardest thing in your day, and that would be the highlight. Find one. And then you have 2 other things that could be, say, a little less in priority. I mean, if you compare it against your study time.
Yeah,
So
of
that's
course,
how
yes.
you do it, and come back and be accountable to a community or people. You build a positive community where you are talking to these people and telling them, look, I promised I would do that. I've done it.
And be specific in what it is that you're going to do. So in the end of the day, you can say, this is done. That
Yes.
you have your YouTube tutorials that you have to go through. Good. Make a target of 10 YouTube tutorials and finish what you need to do. And if it's not done, then you'll carry on the next
One
day.
of our regular audience members, she's saying, Saira Ekram Samad, it's the spring reaction. When you keep pushing, there will be a time when you feel like you have had enough and give up. Balance, planning, and sticking to plan is what works for me.
Yeah, and see, that's a mother of 3.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
think-
don't be
yeah.
harsh, and don't be hard on yourself. Don't beat yourself up saying that, oh my God, Mike, you're so bad. You haven't done that. Start small, then you can achieve, then you get motivated. If you start too big, I mean, it fits within a 16-hour time frame or time window probably. But the thing is that, are you capable of doing it? That's the question here. It's not about
Yeah.
fitting it inside that day. It's about fitting it in your schedule and also your habit. You're building it. What you are not doing at the moment or finding it hard, you have a resistance from inside. You have to first make sure that you're comfortable with it.
Yeah. And you'll know that next week Sunday at 6 o'clock, when we have Knowing Who You Are, you're going to call back and say what you did.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's do
I
that.
love that.
Baby steps. Yeah, Syra said baby
Syra
steps.
says take baby steps.
Yeah.
No, that's how you do it.
It
True.
is. It's just how we do
No
it.
habit can be formed
No.
if you start doing it, because
not
unless
the
you
habit.
have the habit in your system, you can never carry on, or you can follow through. It won't happen.
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you ever so much, guys.
Yeah, no
Mike,
problem.
thanks for
And
calling.
thank you for calling.
Nice to hear you both. And
Yeah, same here.
have a lovely evening. I'll speak to you next week.
All
Thank
right.
you very much. All right, Mike.
Okay,
Thank you.
Have a great rest of the evening.
Bye-bye.
We had quite a lot of messages in the meantime. Syra, hello, by the way.
And thank you for your
That's why I was
advice.
waving at her
Yeah.
when you were talking to Syra. Sorry, so to Mike. So Shifat says, guys, I have to go, but thank you for such an amazing session today.
Aw.
Unfortunately, it's the kiddies' bedtime.
Totally understood. Love
Yeah,
you
and
both.
she's like,
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Oh,
Love you too.
okay. Neha Karim, scientifically correct. I think
Yeah.
it's the incremental habit
Yeah,
building thing.
exactly. Yeah.
And Syra's baby steps. Yeah,
Great.
amazing.
Wow.
So
it's been 2.5 hours.
it's been two
It
and a half.
flew by.
I loved
What a
it.
great show.
Yeah.
We took it to the stars and back to reality.
I mean, they take us, to be honest.
That's
Everyone has
true.
this amazing comment, the
Yeah.
quotes, and everything. Everyone has this input, and so
Yeah.
valuable. It makes our life easier
Yeah,
as well. I mean, that's what the
absolutely.
community is all about.
Yeah.
Oh, read my question, please. What is the question?
Can you scroll up?
I can
I
scroll
can
up.
read it
Let's
I
see.
can read it from here. Look.
Mm.
She says, this is when we were on the phone about the relationships.
Oh, wait. Okay, I found it.
Yeah?
I have a question to do with ethics and morals. I used to know someone, also from Bangladesh, who was raised in an orphanage, and there was lots of abuse there. His friend was experiencing the worst things you can imagine by the teacher, and then committed suicide. Oh my God. After finding this friend, all the boys got together and took the law in their own hands, ended the life of the teacher.
Oh my God.
After finding this out, I was shocked, asking how could they do that. The person replied, none of the other teachers would listen. People would ignore the abuse. The orphanage kids didn't have anyone on their side. What do you think? I feel like being in the desperate situation, we might do a similar thing. That's easy for us to judge from the outside. Totally. The thing is, what Anuradha was saying, when you don't have the caring parents, and you're saying they don't have any parent anyway, they're orphans, they're in an orphanage. It's really a sad situation in a sense that they couldn't go to anyone, and the people they're relying on, they're treating them badly. And what else they could have done? Either they had to kill themselves, which one of their friends did, and then you kill the person, or at least take care of the person who's treating you that way. I mean, if it's beyond your control, I mean, it has to be either of the two. So we definitely cannot judge, and definitely they will end up being in prison as well, probably. But I think from that point of view, what age they are, probably in an orphanage, they're probably 10, 12 years old. They have no one. No, you said the other teachers are not listening. The authority are not listening. And one person couldn't take it anymore. And one way of standing up against this misdemeanor, probably they could have done it other ways, but how can we judge them? What lesson they had in their life and what guidance they had. A person who was abusing. So that's the person is your mentor. So what would you learn? And you don't know the right from the wrong. So if they had done that, I'm sorry for them. That's all I can say, because we can never judge them for sure, because they have no one, no parents, no one to fall back on, no shoulder to cry on. So that's my view. Anyway, people can differ definitely. And Syra said, I miss the interesting bits. Yeah, we had quite a lot of fun.
She
We're
says
towards
also, countries like Bangladesh, unfortunately, where the law is not very strong, we cannot judge this situation. And I was going to say, you can't, not from where we are. It is such a different set of circumstances. And what can you say other than I feel really sorry?
No,
that's
it
what
doesn't
happened.
only in Bangladesh. I've seen in Australia,
Yes, in
there are
South Africa as
things,
well.
South Africa,
Yeah,
in
yeah.
New Zealand.
Latin America.
Imagine,
Yeah.
I mean, when you have, probably in Australia, there was a thing when a guy, his own daughter, he raised probably 10, 11 children with his own daughter. So how awkward and pervert is that? But that happened.
Yeah.
And what could she do? And she was locked up, I think, in a basement, probably, at least 27 years or something.
Wow.
So she was alive, just imagine. And she was changed totally. And there was another one when there was one child and this woman, she came out from under a basement. So there are a lot of horror stories out there. And from our point of view, we are so lucky when we grew up, when we still have our parents alive, whom we can go and share our grief sometimes. And they still think about us and try to help us. But there are people who never had benefit or even that pleasure, that happy moment they couldn't share with anyone. And when they're sad, they couldn't tell anyone. Even to think about that, I mean, it's so horrible.
Yeah.
I really have no words. Even I can't even imagine.
And that is also one of the reasons why we do have Knowing Who You Are, because it gives an open platform to raise issues and situations, and we ask people for their advice or their viewpoint or their opinion. So you never know that someone who is in that situation, who doesn't have anyone to talk to or doesn't have anyone to go to, it is impossible to almost not have internet these days and see what there is, because if you search for solutions, then hopefully this podcast is also one they will find, because we are very aware that a lot of things that we've taken up today, the relationships, the harming each other, even though you're not sure, should you stay, should you not stay, all the different things, your upbringing, the abuse of children, all these different points. We are not saying that we have the solution to all these things, but we bring in people that do, and we study. We never stop studying to learn solutions that we can find. And so that's what the whole point of Knowing Who You Are is. It gives people the opportunity to speak about it, to share, to raise the question.
Raise awareness as well.
And then, so that it's on record, because it obviously goes on YouTube, it stays on Facebook. So hopefully, if you at a future time ever watch this and this helped you, we're very happy. Even if we just help one person, then it was all worth it.
I mean, Esther had said it all. So it's like my previous address, she had said everything, so I don't have to worry about it. And it all been, oh, wow.
We're having all these lovely acknowledgements here. This is wonderful.
Replying to Selena, yes, it was a sensational world news. Yeah, that was the thing. And I know that, okay.
Yeah.
Shampa Dewan, Salam Bhaiya. Salam, how are you? And she's a good singer as well. She's a
Wonderful.
doctor.
Great. Fantastic.
Very nice program. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank all of you, all our listeners, our supporters, the callers, everyone who's joined us in this great
I'll probably,
day.
now it's time we slowly wrap it up.
I
So
think
every
so.
Sunday, Knowing Who You're live stream, we come with it at 6 o'clock, between 6 and 8. It was supposed to be 2 hours. Such a lovely conversation, amazing calls, and all the engaging contribution from the audience and the listeners. So thank you, Anuradha. Thank you, Selena. Thank you, Shampa. Thank you, Neha. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah.
And thank you. Who else have I missed? And there are many. I see the viewers are there, but I don't get to know their name. They never share.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you're there, and your support, we value that. So always be there, and we try to bring something of value, and we're trying to create this community with some meaning, and where we can help each other, and we can have a resilient community where we don't have to go outside to find that support. We can find that support within ourselves by sharing the experiences that we have in our lives. So on that note, for tonight, I think have great rest of the evening.
Yeah.
And good night.
And see you next week.